telling me it's garbage. Ugh. What's bad is my internet's fine. So I don't know if this is YouTube servers or what. All right. Is this any better? I don't think it is. At least according to OBS, it seems to be pretty bad still. And I checked my internet connection and it's definitely not that. I'm getting more than enough upload speed to do this. So I don't know if there's an issue on YouTube's side right now. Nobody's reporting any issues at the moment. Dumb. Well, how is it right now? How does it sound right now? Is it still cutting out? What's up, Hustle? What's up, everybody? What's up, Refeats? Jorge's in here. Customized kicks had to fail for a minute. All right, well, we'll roll with it. I lowered the bitrate a little bit to see if that would help. I mean, because I'm not doing anything fast-paced or motiony, so I shouldn't need anything crazy going on as far as that. I'm not doing any gameplay, so hopefully that'll be fine for now. I don't know why it's misbehaving. Yeah, it's still showing it's unstable. I guess we'll just roll with it. All right, so this time around, I'm probably just going to be answering questions. I think that might be the easiest thing to do because I don't know what else to talk about that I've already kind of covered in the video itself. At least until it comes to me. In episode 8, they're going to show Wanda taking Vision's body. In episode 9, the cameo is Magneto. Sorry for the spoilers. Okay, sure. I mean, assuming that's correct, I'm just going to go ahead and get you out of here for that shit. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm not putting stupid ass spoilers in there. Anyway, do you think Evan Peters is a villain? I don't know. I really don't know at this point. I don't know if he is being manipulated by Agnes, or if he's a willing party. We definitely know that she's involved with him, and maybe whether he's been conjured, he's a construct of her magic, or if she's borrowed him from somewhere, or whether he's or whether he's just somebody disguising themselves. But the flick of her wrist she gave implies that she shapeshifted someone or something or created him to give this persona. So I don't know if it was somebody like Agatha or somebody that also you would assume would have that power. I don't know why her magic would have to be involved. So I think she conjured him or summoned him from somewhere else. Yeah. Still hoping it's Peter. I do too in the long run. I hope so. They did bring up the Nexus in this episode though. So we know for a fact that they called that out. The multiverse is involved. There's no reason to bring up Nexus without that. Did you guys like, and I didn't notice it, I didn't mention it in the video, like when I was reacting to it, but when she goes into Agnes's basement and she goes into that secret room, the aspect ratio changes to reality. Like it stops being the television, the WandaVision aspect ratio, and it crunches back down into the ratio when it's usually outside of the bubble. So subtle. So Agatha has access to the outside world regardless of what's going on. Because some people was like, maybe they... I was watching New Rockstar's podcast from yesterday, and they just dropped their breakdown video, which I thought maybe it'd be fun if we reacted to that live here on while we're doing this. So we might do that here in a little bit since they just dropped it. But it was pretty interesting because that... So they had mentioned on the podcast at least, and I'm wondering if they'll change their tune on it in their actual breakdown. But it was like maybe Agnes was trying to get out of Wanda's bubble. Maybe Agatha's trying to break out, and using this whole situation to kind of get out on her own. But it seems like that the implications of the aspect ratio changes. At least it implies that she's got access outside of that. So she's not under anyone's control. Okay, get out. Bye, Scorpion. Let's see. To be honest, I think Evan Peters is a villain because he is connected to Agatha. In the post-credits scene, Evan Peters didn't get the purple eyes effect like Monica. No, which makes me wonder if he's just something she created with her magic. Because remember too, she was very intrigued and surprised, or it could be an act because she's been very good at putting on acts this season so far. Is that she seemed surprised when the twins mentioned that she can resurrect the dead. So maybe that's something even she can't do, and maybe she's been using Pietro to try to figure out how to do that. And since this world's Pietro's dead, even if she didn't summon Peter Maximoff from the Fox X-Men universe, maybe she summoned his visage over, made a construct that looked like a Pietro that does exist in the multiverse somewhere. Thank you so much, Susan, for becoming a member, joining the adventurers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Crazy idea, but what if it's Peter from the Fox universe? Agatha takes him from Fox universe, brings him to help her drive Wanda crazy. She input what she knows happened to Wanda's brother. Yeah, without her manipulating his mind, I don't know why he would be willing to do that. It's not really in his character, especially even if it's not his direct sister. I don't see, he would definitely need to be put under her influence to, in my opinion at least, to go along with Agatha's plan. So I think maybe she created someone that looks like just a version of her brother from another world. We got more Mephisto clues in this episode too, especially the fly on the wall. I wonder if Agatha is the one tricking Vision out of the hex on purpose. Vision couldn't even get... I thought that too, because Vision is the only one, because he's snooped so far, he's the only one that's really breaking Wanda's grip on this illusion. And we know neither of them can control him right now. They can't trick him any longer. Which makes me wonder if she, of course, like you said, was trying to get him out of the hex so that he's out of the picture and she can just puppet Wanda even further without any interference from Vision. Because she seems surprised. If we, now with this in context, everything that we know now, we look back at episode, 5, when she does the retake, which is like, do you want to do that again? And she realizes that Wanda can't make Vision go back. So and now he's questioning more and more things. She needs him out of the hex. He's ruining her plan. Which also makes me think that it's not Wanda keeping Vision at a distance. Maybe because he got pulled back in, it's just Agatha that's keeping him at a distance. I think that would be an interesting twist there. He thinks it's Wanda, and maybe that makes them come to blows, or maybe that deepens their distrust in each other. But it would be interesting to see that it's actually Agatha that's having all those interruptions come and stop him from getting deeper and getting back into Westview. Man, the chat's going hard right now. I'm going to let's see. I really hope it's Peter 2 and is just being controlled by Agatha. It's heavily rumored that Quicksilver gets Sweet Dream moment in episode 9 to the song You Were Gonna Go My Way by Johnny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz? Give it a listen. It's such a perfect song. Do you think the book is the Darkhold or something? It might be this version of the Darkhold. That would make sense. It definitely got some focus on it, so I think it would make sense. It definitely looks different than the one we saw in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. though. Because I did look that up. Again, I don't watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I know some people had called that out in the comments, so I looked to check it out, and it's definitely a different book. So it's not the same design, so it could be, could not. We know the multiverse is there, though, because the commercial in this was a dead giveaway. They go with Mephisto as our big bad. Who do you think will be out of... Who do you think it would be out of Dennis, Dottie, Pietro, or Tyler Hayward? Honestly, I don't think Mephisto is present. I don't think he's going to be actually here. Maybe he is. He could be all of them. The mailman, honestly, is the most suspicious to me. Dottie, not so much. I'm not really worried about Dottie at all. Peter, if he was Mephisto, Mephisto wouldn't have needed Agnes to disguise him as Pietro. So I don't think he's Pietro either. I don't think he's Hayward, because Hayward seems like a very human threat who may have made a deal with Mephisto. Out of those that you mentioned, my suspicions definitely lean towards the mailman, but I'm also kind of getting the feeling that Mephisto... I kind of get the feeling that Agatha is going to be the big bad of the this show, of the season, and that if Mephisto is involved, which it keeps implying that he is, because Mephisto's very first appearance in the comics was as a fly on the wall, and you have that moment where Wanda's in the house and she looks over and there's that giant fucking fly just chilling on the wall. I think Agatha is behind orchestrating everything that's going on, and maybe it's for a higher power or for a purpose that is tied to Mephisto. But I don't know if we're actually going to see him in this season. I think he might just be this apparatus that is hiding and lurking in the shadows, and I don't think we'll actually confront him head on in this in the show itself. Agatha seems like a dimension hopper. It's also a possibility she might not even be from our reality. She could be, if they mention the Nexus worlds, maybe she came through the Nexus, but I don't know about that, because all of the commercials are about Wanda, and at least in the comics, Agatha's not a Nexus Bean, but Wanda is. So it's curious to see how that all plays out, because she's clearly siphoning magic from Wanda this whole time. Like, whatever she's doing is siphoning the energy from this hex. And either Professor X or Manigo find a way to follow him and bring him back. Something happened to two universes merge. Sounds crazy, but I mean, with everything going on, especially considering what may or may not come out of Multiverse of Madness, I think it's pretty solid that something like that could happen. But I don't know. Again, there's a supposed Luke Skywalker moment coming down the line, and we have to see how that's going to play out. Mephisto appears as the big bad. Who's going to play him? I don't know. I don't have a good guess for that. I would like Evan Peters to play a villain because he's just really good at it. But if we want to just recast people from previous things as, let's say, the devil, I think it would be fun to have Ian McKellen. He's like, yeah, he's play into this, like, he's Wanda's father in another universe, but in this world, in the overarching scheme of the MCU, maybe he's a villain, but I'm not sure. I'm not good at just coming up with good castings on the fly. There's only a few actors that I'll look at and be like, you need to play this character someday. Mephisto is one of those where I'm just like, honestly, it could be anybody and I'd be okay with it. What do you think happened to the twins? Well, they were, if we're going with the comic route, Mephisto absorbed them back into his being because at least in the comics, when they were born, they were created from Mephisto's energy. And at the end of that comic line, he reabsorbed them into his body. So it's either that or Agatha turned them into sandwiches and took a bite out of them, which is kind of a reference to her earlier in the episode where she's like, yeah, I've been a kid before. Maybe she consumed their powers. Maybe she's purely the only one leeching on Wanda's abilities. Maybe if Wanda's a Nexus Bean and she's not, maybe she's trying to siphon Wanda's abilities to increase her own. It's hard to say. Like, there's a lot of ways that this can kind of be bent right now with how things are going. It's really, and that's one of the things I like about this show a lot, is because there's like 1,000 possibilities for anything that comes to fruition. So I don't know. I think they got absorbed. I think either she consumed them or she sacrificed them to Mephisto, or Mephisto just took them back. I totally knew the car thing was an act, but calling Agatha was evil isn't something special. Yeah. She's like a gray neutral party mostly in the comics. Like, she's never really been on a side other than her own, and she's been a long-term mentor for Wanda. So I think her being pure evil is a little bit of a stretch in a lot of ways. But we'll see. We'll see how they play it. Either way, Catherine Hahn is killing it in this role. And I knew that song sounded familiar when they were doing the Agatha All Along thing. And I was like, why does this sound familiar? And again, it was another thing that you have to go to the comments for. It's like, that was the theme from the Munsters. And then I just felt even worse about it because I used to watch the Munsters all the time. And it's beat for beat. Because the Munsters theme doesn't actually have any lyrics. But it is exactly that music. Stream went down for a second. Is it okay right now? Who's spoiling stuff? Because, like, if anybody's like going ahead of anything, I want to shut that shit down. Cameos at the end. Let's see. Let's see. Trying to get my spot back. Ram or goat's head? Looked more like a ram head in the basement. Hear me out. Pietro is a Skrull. That's why Agatha used magic on him. She wouldn't have to use magic on Mephisto. Yeah, but she wouldn't have to use magic on a Skrull either because they can shapeshift. So I don't know about that one. This could also connect the Skrull heads in the Falcon Club. I don't think any of this is going to have any connection to the primary threads of Secret Wars just yet. What if Agatha was another subject to the project that gave Wanda powers because they really have similar power effect? Maybe. They did imply that they'd experimented on others, so it's possible. Sadly, I think Peter Quicksilver's appearance is just a mistake on Agatha's part in brought back the wrong Pietro. Possibly. I mean, we know she can't bring back the dead, because I think that was one of the few times it's safe to say that she wasn't acting. I'm still, I know I said this last time, I don't see anything in the show whatsoever that makes me think Nightmare's involved in the show. So let's see. I just kind of scooted ahead just to make sure that nobody's misbehaving. What's good? The book at the end wasn't Darkhold. I mean, it could be, because the MCU and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. aren't the same universe, according to Kevin Feige, not officially. So this could be the MCU version of the Darkhold. But it definitely looks different, so we don't know yet. We don't know yet, but it's safe to assume that it could be. We're going to be in 2020 the next episode. Yeah, we're catching up, man. We're catching up with present day, because the MCU's ahead of us timeline-wise because of the blip and everything. So they're actually, the MCU present day is in our future, right? Yeah, I heard the Pietro Sweet Dreams thing too would be dope. Guys, if you've heard anything about the upcoming episodes, do not say anything about it. I don't care. Speculations only. If you've seen a leak, if you've seen anything that may be considered a spoiler, don't say anything or I will remove you from the whole chat, because that doesn't make it fun for anybody. Have you heard about the Nicholas Scratch theory? I don't know about a theory. I know he's Agatha's son, and maybe her son is the rabbit, or the rabbit is just a nod to her son. Cameos Al Pacino as Mephisto as one scene cameo. I want Al Pacino so badly. See, I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, because then you say, I want Al Pacino so badly. So then it's like, is it a spoiler or is it not? So chill on anything like that, man. The mailman called the kids little dudes too, made me instantly suspicious. Okay, what if it's a familiar of hers? Because do we ever see the rabbit and Pietro, or the rabbit and the mailman in the same scenes? No, she handed off the rabbit to Wanda in episode 2, and then the mailman came by. Okay. So I'm starting to think, well, what if she's like shape-shifting the rabbit into other things? Because also, when you're watching that last scene when Wanda's in her living room, the rabbit's purring like a cat. Or there's a purring sound coming from somewhere. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out. Because it could just be a reference. One, it could be two things. Because Mr. Scratch is a nickname for the devil in literature. It could be a reference to that. Or it could be a reference or a nod to her son, Nicholas. Or just a nod. We'll see. Who is the actor of the mailman? He looks like the friend character in George Lopez. I don't know. I don't recognize him personally. I've watched a lot of George Lopez, but I don't recognize him. What is Agatha is doing this to kill Wanda? If you think about it, she wouldn't be able to overpower Wanda, so she decides to control her to weaken her power and remind her of her trauma. Yeah, she's definitely manipulating Wanda, keeping Wanda sedated, distracted, weakened mentally, by forcing all of this stuff in there to drudge up a lot of her past. So she definitely can't match Wanda. I mean, she clearly, again, unless it's an act, but the way they played it, I think it was genuine. Like, she's trying to take advantage of the amount of power that Wanda has by whether or not she created the hex itself and trapped Wanda in this hex. She's definitely using Wanda's hex to fuel whatever it is that she's doing. What if, I mean, it could very well be breaking down the barriers to release Mephisto. Who knows? If not Mephisto, then maybe Dormammu. I don't know if Dormammu would break his deal with Doctor Strange at this point, but we'll see. I don't know about Dormammu, but it might match up because the coloration's about the same if she draws her powers from the dark dimension instead. Will we actually see the engineer? I don't know. Because, I mean, we don't know that the people we met are not the engineer or the people involved that built it. They could just be the people that dropped it off. But a lot of people, as they mentioned before, if you use the subtitles in other languages, it uses female familiars or articles when referring to the person that she's talking about. It could be this Goodner at the end, and it could be just nothing. But it's a little disappointing if that's the case, so I kind of hope it would be cool for it to not be that. Hayward tried to bring Vision back online, and it was mentioned nothing happened till Wanda came to get his body, so I wonder if a lot of the work to bring him back alive was done. Yeah, I think so too. So I'm curious though if he is working in tandem with Agatha for this as well. Because it's also weird that while other people can come and go from the hex won't allow Vision to leave. Like, it pulls him back in. So I'm wondering why that is. And what all they did try to bring Vision back. Let's see. They will probably drop a Mephisto sighting at the very end of the last episode. So, again, this goes back to me watching New Rockstar's podcast, not their breakdown, but the podcast about the episode. And it was like, well, you know, introducing Mephisto into this wholeheartedly in the last two episodes might take away from the reveal of Agatha Harkness as the villain. So what if after we, like I was saying earlier, that, you know, I don't think we're going to see Mephisto. I do believe Mephisto is involved. He's in Loki. He's been referenced many times in this show, and he even, if you read the comics and if it's more than a nod, he was in the episode. The Fly on the wall. So it's Mephisto's involved some way. It's not, I have, again, no inkling of Nightmare, at least in this show, being involved. No one's asleep. He has no power over anybody here. Everybody is conscious, so I don't think anything that's going on with this. And we see Mephisto in a mural in the Loki trailer, so just saying. What if Quicksilver was the Luke Skywalker cameo? If he was the Luke Skywalker cameo, then they have like a very lacking sense of what the world would be interested in. Like, you had a lot of people who were like, why was this a big deal? Luke Skywalker is like a cultural icon. He's going to be somebody that rocks the world. It's definitely not the Quicksilver thing, and I think they even confirmed that that wasn't the cameo they were talking about. They will probably drop a Mephisto sighting at the very last episode. Yeah, okay, back to that comment. What I was saying was like, you know, we'll defeat Agatha in the end of this season, and maybe like when she's like skulking back to whoever she's working for, she'll like call out to beyond the veil to like somebody in another realm who would be Mephisto, possibly. So I don't think he's directly here. But I do know, I do 100% think he's involved. The Nexus is a cross-dimensional gateway which provides a pathway into any and all possible realities. This reality's between realities and is in the comics. It is unknown whether it was created by some being or if it's just one place in the entire multiverse where realities naturally intersect. And she's one of the people that is a Nexus Bean. Wanda is a Nexus Bean. Kang is a Nexus Bean. In some iterations, I've heard Vision is, but I don't know. Maybe that's why he can't be manipulated and controlled in this reality, so I don't know. I'm really excited to see where they go from that. What if, like, is Agatha trying to access the Nexus? Maybe is that why she's drawing this power from Wanda? Reed Richards, engineer. Stream chilling. Stream went down. Stream got finessed. What if the engineer is the cameo? That could be if it is Reed Richards in the end, and Goodner wasn't actually the whatchamacallit, the big cameo. But I don't think. I mean, that's even Reed Richards. I don't think is a Luke Skywalker moment. And as people have mentioned, Paul Bettany was talking about it's a person that he's wanted to work with all along, like a man of the theater. Which makes me think, after hearing that, it might be Ian McKellen as Magneto, but we'll see. Because I think that, like I've talked about many times, I think if you really wanted to get people shitting themselves in excitement over somebody showing up, the big one would be Wolverine. I just don't know how that would connect. The second one, I think, would be Tobey Maguire. And then, of course, if you want to go down the next step from that, of course, would be have Magneto show up. Because I think that would be pretty cool. And it would tie in. I heard a bit of the Addams Family theme during her song. It was actually the Munsters theme, but I don't know if there's like a hint of it in there. I'd have to listen to it again. Live reaction, gotta go, guys. Be back soon. Take care, Maddie. What's up, Sheena? Rockstar's live reaction. I don't know if I want to do a live reaction with the internet being garbage right now, because it's really I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do a live reaction to it, considering how spotty the stream seems to be right now. Because it'd be really disappointing to, I think everybody to like watch that. But if, what I'll do probably after the stream, I'll probably post the video for it tonight. I wish we could have reacted to it, but yeah, the stream itself is so inconsistent at the moment that I don't want to ruin it for you guys. So I'll make a video for it later this evening. And then we might just have a chill stream playing some games tonight. No spoilers. Again, make sure, I don't care where you hear it, if it's anything related to later episodes and you've heard it or seen it somewhere and it's not just a guess or speculation, I don't want to hear it. And if you post anything, I'll kick you out of the chat. Mephisto is not involved. It's Agatha and Nightmare in some way. Okay, I responded to that. That's actually, I skipped ahead and saw that comment. That's what brought me to say the stuff I said earlier. Pietro is the Fox one. Possibly. We still don't know yet. I'm not sure if it's me or you two, but I keep getting kicked out and sent to a video of your TV. Ooh, that's not fun. Sorry about that, Susan. I want to see more of Monica's powers. Me too. I want to see her use her spectrum abilities. And I want to talk about that too. Because she can see and influence and use all the spectrums of radiation, of light, of energy. So when she was looking at those roots that were glowing purple, was that her being put under a spell, or was she just looking at the ultraviolet spectrum in that point? Because my first thought was, because we just saw Wanda get taken over by that, and her eyes go purple and all that. My initial thought when I did the reaction was, did she get taken over? Is she possessed now? Snooper's going to snoop. What's he mean by that is one thing I want to know too. But again, she came in here as a snooper. She's continuing to snoop. So it could just be a callback because like she's still snooping. She won't stop snooping. And he's just like, Snooper's going to snoop. And she keeps poking her nose into all these situations. Crazy. What do you give this episode out of 10? I don't think I would give any episode below a 9 so far. I really liked it. I mean, nothing huge happened outside of the reveals, but it was such a really well done episode, like character-wise, moving things forward. I really enjoyed it. I would probably give it a 9. I think I would give it a 9. Just if there was some, I don't know, man. It's hard. I don't know if I'd give it a 10, but I would definitely give it a 9. Quicksilver is real, please. The engineer might be Norman Osborn. That might be possible. That could be interesting. I think the stream is not in real time. It's got to be behind. What? Peter said he was brought to drive her crazy, so Agatha is gaslighting Wanda. Definitely. And also trying to understand how she created all this and what she's doing, while at the same time being impressed with how she's gone about manipulating all the people in the bubble. When you know that Agatha has been puppeteering Peter, a lot of what he's been asking and doing makes a lot more sense. We just need a little more of an explanation of where he came from, what is he, and again, still, why does he not look like Aaron Taylor Johnson? If he's an illusion, a manifestation created by a third party, which we've confirmed, at least in some aspects, that is true. Why does he not look correct? I don't know. And still, it could be because Agatha doesn't know what Pietro actually looks like. So she just reached out and the multiverse was like, here's what one kind of looks like. I don't know. Unless it's just a nod for us, which would be really disappointing. I don't know. I'm curious about that. I want to know what's going to happen. Only speculation from episodes 1 to 7. Yes. Or, predictions. We can go with predictions. If it's Norman, I will explode. And if it's Willem Dafoe, it's Norman Osborn. That would be cool. Imagine if the rabbit is Mephisto. I love how, like, this Mephisto is, like, become a little bit of a meme. Because I know, like, when I did the reaction to the Cruella trailer, and you see DeVille on Cruella's license plate, my initial thought, and I even saw it in the comments, was like, Cruella's Mephisto, or Cruella's car is Mephisto. It's so funny that it's like bleeding into, it's become a meme of its own because of this show. He's talking about Al Pacino from Tropic Thunder, Omni. Okay. Thoughts on possible Jennifer Lawrence MCU casting? Not happening. She will not come back. You will never. I'll bet $5 because when I bet money, I don't want to go big, but I'd bet $5 easy that she will never be in a Marvel movie or X-Men movie again because she hates that makeup, and if she did, she would never be in her true form. She would never actually like be in the makeup again. The only reason she showed up in Dark Phoenix like that was because her contract. Jennifer Lawrence in Fantastic Four could be interesting. Also, she wouldn't have to use any makeup, so she might actually be down for that. If Mephisto's not pulling the strings after all the clues and Easter eggs, it's going to be a bit of a letdown, in my opinion. I agree, because there's too many direct references to Mephisto in the show. It would make no sense for it to be Nightmare or just Agatha. At least if he's not in the show, like I said, he needs to be behind the strings, or maybe trapped in that book, or calling from beyond hell, or whatever dimension they're going to have him in this reality, in this continuity. Like, he's got to be present somewhere. And again, the mural and Loki. What's up, Sugar Ray? Mailman had a rabbit on his hat. You're right. Maybe she is transforming the rabbit. I don't know. God damn it. The mystery I'm interested in is why Wanda is in that town to begin with. The final scene shows Agatha showed up to the already inhabited by Wanda town. You're right. Yeah, I don't think, again, I think Wanda created this whole situation, whether she was manipulated into doing this, like inspired into doing this or whatever. We'll see where it goes. Okay, hold on. What's going on down here? All right, whatever. Okay, what the fuck what the fuck's going on in chat? Dill, you if you're gonna explode like that though, I would kind of chill. Guys, if you can't like have a legitimate conversation with anybody and not get upset, you don't need to be in here at all. And Russian, you need to back off. Seriously. All right, where did I leave off? Jesus. Oh my god. I'm like so far behind, man, on the chat. Mailman as a rabbit. Okay, there we go. Emily Blunt, so I hope she's cast as someone in the MCU. Mailman played by Amos Glick. Unfortunately don't know what that says, that one there. Want to see more of Monica's powers? Me too. Powers expand. I don't like J-Law and MCU. I think Agatha wanted the kids for something. I think she wants them for their powers. They are chaos magic incarnate, pretty much. In the comics, it was believed that any being that Wanda might give birth to would have the ability to warp and affect all realities. Because Wanda herself is a Nexus Bean, that if she produced any offspring, they would be immensely powerful. So that was one of the things that why they people like Agatha and Mephisto kind of took advantage of that situation. Do you think Agatha's rabbit is Nicholas Scratch? She told the twins it's Senior Scratchy. She always seems to be carrying him around with her. I think so. I think it could just be a nod, but it could be. I don't know. It could just, like I said, it could just be a reference, but I'd like for it to be, it'd be pretty interesting, but I don't know what that would contribute to the story so much, but yeah. If they do, I would like that to be something that comes up later. Maybe not as a big plot point in the show, especially since we have a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. One is the Nexus Bean, so she could have pulled Quicksilver over and puppeted by Agnes. Yeah, that could be. It could be what we thought before, where Wanda reached out and like influenced the Nexus, called over a Quicksilver that was alive, and then Agatha took control of that puppet, made it her own puppet, turned Wanda's outreach for some type of help into something that would benefit her. Maybe. It's possible. Agnes saying it was all along with 2 episodes left. I smell a misdirect. Yeah. I think again she'll be the big bad of the show, but she's not the only one working behind the shadows. I really hope it's not Mephisto, because it would be kind of out of nowhere unless he is the villain of the Multiverse of Madness, which is unlikely. I mean, he could be, but I mean, he's referenced in Loki again, so it wouldn't make sense for Mephisto not to be involved in this whole thing at all, because that would just be weird to make it Nightmare of all people or somebody else. Even though I know the big rumor is that Nightmare is the big villain of Multiverse of Madness, that just seems weak to me. And he's not like that powerful compared to like people. I don't know. He seems like a really annoying threat to turn it into Nightmare for me. Hope he's Doctor Strange. That would be cool. Screen Trollers so freaking annoying. I know some of its spoilers are fake, but it's so annoying getting recommended all the time. Yeah, definitely. I try to avoid as much as I can. Sometimes you just can't. And then sometimes people pop into chats or your comments and just drop shit they found on Reddit. The Engineer is the Luke cameo. If it's Reed Richards, might be. Also, didn't Paul Bettany said he's working with an actor he's always wanted to work with? Yes, that's why I think it might be Ian McKellen. And it might be the big cameo it's probably going to be Ian McKellen as Magneto. I think the next episode will be a flashback. I think that's needed right now, especially with the context that we need for what's going on. That's another thing too, Danson. We keep talking about Ralph. Who the fuck is Ralph? Ralph is another literary term used or name given to the devil. Again, just saying. And anyway, I hope the next episode is a flashback, because I think we definitely need to know how the Hex got set up, how Wanda got the body, how Hayward's tied into this whole thing. We need an episode to kind of finally set up everything that's going on right now, and then just let the finale just be bonkers. Let us have all the information going into it, and it'll be insane. I think Ralph is Mephisto and he's been in the background, which would make sense. I agree. It would be funny if Cap met Human Torch. I would love that to death. I would really love that. I think Mephisto will come at the end, and you will be only when Agatha loses in the end. It'll be the whole thing that carries on into Doctor Strange 2. Possibly, unless he's not even involved in. He might still be a standoffish kind of person, because Mephisto doesn't always operate at the forefront. So even if he's not the main villain in Multiverse of Madness, he could still be there and influencing what's going on. If Nightmare is the villain of Multiverse of Madness, he easily could be puppeted by Mephisto. And Mephisto could be one of the big bads to carry out throughout this phase. It's possible. I mean, if we're going to be bringing in Fantastic Four, Ghost Rider, any of that stuff, you need Mephisto. It can't be pawned off on some nobody named like somebody that's as insignificant as Nightmare. As a big bad of the phase. If it's a big bad of a movie, that's one thing. But I think a big bad of an entire phase or anything like that, or a series of movies, it can't be Nightmare, man. The big cameo is not Doctor Strange. Agreed. That wouldn't be much sense, and it wouldn't be a Luke Skywalker moment. I think Mephisto will come in at the end, like you said. Okay, I read that one already. I think Agatha wants the kids for something. I think also Mordo will be main villain Doctor Strange 2. I'm surprised Mordo isn't sniffing up this whole situation. Like, I smell a magic going afoot. I need to strike them down. Because that's like his whole thing, right? Coming in and snuffing out magic users because there's just too many in the world, and then you have these two down here wreaking all this havoc. I think it'd be pretty cool for him to come down, and it'd be pretty sweet to see. It would make sense. I don't know what he would do. It definitely wouldn't be a Luke Skywalker moment, but if Mordo doesn't get involved in Doctor Strange 2, it would be a little sus, to say the least. Just a little nitpick too. John Krasinski as Reed Richards to me is a Luke Skywalker type hype. I think I wouldn't say Luke Skywalker type hype, but though I would be very hyped to see that happen. Thank you, Type O, for the super chat. Just because nobody else is giving any super chats, brother. I really appreciate it. Thank you, man. It's not necessary, but I do appreciate the help. Let's see. All the dipshits that think that they have spoilers from Reddit or whatever go somewhere else. I mean, yeah. At least if you want, like, if you're going into a chat like this to speculate, at least try to disguise it as like an opinion, as a prediction. Like, don't just be like, I saw this thing, blah blah blah, leak from thing, blah blah blah, here it goes, because then that just makes you a dick. If you want to, what I would do if I saw a spoiler and it ended up maybe being true or like definitely legit, I would come into someone's chat or comments and pretend that I thought of that, and then I would be like, look, I was right, guys. There you go. There you go. Big brain points. But I don't know. If people that just come in to just drop spoilers and not even try to take credit for coming up with it, just needs to, like, you're just sad. If your life is that pathetic that that's how you get your shits and giggles out of life, fuck off. Good. You need therapy or something. You need to come to Jesus. A come to Jesus moment. Let's just say. Nah, Mephisto is too big for a TV show. Yeah, no, I disagree. Not with how the MCU is handling their TV shows. Like I said, I don't think he's going to physically show up in this show. I think he's going to be alluded to. He's been referenced many times. I think he will be hinted at, and then he will be followed up on in a big premiere, because Kevin Feige is very adamant about showing how these shows are tied to the movies, and that he's not backing down on the movies being in theaters to large people in the public. So I do think that we're going to keep the huge shit to a lot of the movies and such, while the shows are setting up. Like, the shows are going to set these things up. While Mephisto might be the one pulling the strings behind the scenes, doesn't mean he can't be revealed in a show, but he's going to impact maybe a future film. Like, he could still appear, he could still be felt, he can still be hinted at, but when they want to drop the bomb that, fuck yeah, Mephisto's coming, they're gonna be Mephisting you in the face with a fucking movie, is what they're gonna do. So in a way, I agree with that, but I also disagree that he can't be involved. So, while, like I said, I don't think he's going to be direct. We're not going to be fighting Mephisto. But in the way that Thanos was teased at the end of the first Avengers movie, and we didn't see shit about him for like 6 years later, you can do that same thing with Mephisto in a movie now, or in a TV show now. Just be like, here's the thing. Here's Mephisto. Just a little glimpse, side shot, little mug shot of him, or at least just like a voice from the shadows is all you need. But I think eventually, the show, they could do it in a show and it'd be just fine. Just as many people are watching the show as they would anywhere else at this point, with how streaming and Disney's subscriber numbers have skyrocketed. I think Feige's dropping. Again, I addressed that. I'm not going to touch on that anymore. I think he is Peter from another Fox universe, Fox X-Men, blah, blah, merged universes. So saw that comment here. Let's trying to make sure. God damn, what happened to my chat? There we go. Stream made my Wi-Fi go down. I'm sorry. We will see a full-blown Wiccan and Speed. I hope so. I hope because they seem to be setting up New Avengers or the Young Avengers or some iteration of that, and I would like to see them eventually be in there. I think that'd be really cool. Who's your favorite character? In the MCU or in the show? MCU as a whole or in WandaVision as a show? Oh, thank you, Customized Kicks. I feel bad for getting you, you only getting one super chat. I mean, typically I usually only get one. If at most one, most times, but I appreciate it. I mean, don't feel bad. I don't expect anything when I go into here. I just want to talk to you guys, but I do appreciate it because anything that goes into the channel, anything revenue-wise, whether it's the ad stuff just from the videos or itself, the super chats, the memberships, the Patreon stuff, it's all to get better equipment, get better graphics, get better stuff for you guys to hopefully, ideally, I would like to hire somebody to edit videos so I could do reactions to a lot more shows than I do, because I just want to give you guys more content. So that's really what it all goes into. So you guys are just investing in that, and I appreciate that. Because anything that comes out of this just goes right back into everything.
Streamer.
Let's see. Aw. And then here comes Renee. Guys, please. Not even a question or a comment. Dad, you're sweet. Thank you. I already know we touched on it, but who do you think the huge cameo will be at the end and why? I guess, I did touch on it, but I think the likelihood, given the scenario, given the evidence and the scenario and what's been happening, it's probably going to be Ian McKellen as Magneto. That's going to be Sheena. God damn, everybody is just, what? This isn't Christmas, people. Calm down. Thank you guys so much. Oh my God. And then Sugar Ray coming in here. Jesus Christ, people. I love you guys. I love you all so much, man. And Sugar Ray, I don't see you enough in the comments, so you need to speak up. Thank you. The four devils. Soup, smiling face, devil horns. Mephisto, man. It's Mephisto. Sugar Ray's got it. Everything's Mephisto, man. Chat's got some immature NPCs going on. Yeah, some people just don't know how to talk. Oh my God. Bradford, are we blind? Deploy the super chats.
Streamer.
God damn, I'm just getting hit with it now. Jesus. You've started a revolution, man. Oh my God.
Streamer.
Guys, you're killing me here. I love it.
Streamer.
Do we even have the audio for it on? Missing person is the big cameo. The kid? The missing child on the... Who would it be, though? Who if it was the missing kid, who do you think the kid would be? What do you mean by Nexus Bean? So a Nexus Bean, at least in the comics, they are somebody that can exist beyond the scope of the multiverse and the realities themselves. Like, so they're unaffected by changes in timelines, changes in reality, changes in alternate Earths. So there's somebody that can exist above reality. And they have the ability to influence not just their reality, but all realities in the multiverse as a whole. And she's one of these beings. And she's also got access to the Nexus itself. I mean, that was the commercial in this episode, was Nexus. Does the world revolve around... The world, does it revolve around you? Or does it? It's another hint to that. And God damn it, people. I love you guys. Goddamn Dill. I'll take that as your apology for contributing to the little scuffle going down there. Everybody just be chill. That's all I want, guys. Just a chill stream. Let's just be mature, share our thoughts and our ideas, and just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean they're attacking you either. Let's be honest. Next is a cross-dimensional gateway. Yep, Charmed's got it. Have you experienced any copyright claims on your reactions? Yeah, I do all the time, actually. A lot of the time, a lot of my trailers, like most of the time, they have a claim on it. I don't make my revenue primarily through YouTube. I have a day job. I know like channels like Real Rejects, do I lose the stream? Stream cut out. Channels like Blind Wave, Real Rejects, they get like stuff, but that's like their income stream. So like they have to fight that stuff. I'm a small channel. Like YouTube is like, I don't make enough to, I don't make nearly enough off of YouTube to even somewhat consider living off of it. So also being a small channel, I care more about people seeing my videos, and being able to find the channel and join the community, and talk to people and share and just grow our community beyond what it's been at. So that's been my concern. If I get a copyright claim, like most of my Godzilla stuff, because it's universal and they'll claim everything, is I'll just let it go. I don't re-edit, I don't cut it, because most of the time that just means the reaction is going to be gone. I don't even bother fighting it half the time because you can't win the claim half the time. So I just leave it up because I'd just rather you guys see it. Even if I'm not making anything off of it. I'm a small channel. I can't complain about where the money's coming from. I just want the channel to grow.
Streamer.
In the end, that's really it. Jesus Christ, people. Dill with another $5 super chat. Customized with another $5. It's been Agatha all along. Ah, dude, I can't tell you, that song has been stuck in my head for such a long time. Ever since that episode, it's been in the back of my head. Really hope the mailman isn't her son. Agatha totally checked out his ass and oh fuck, you're right. And if he's the rabbit, that's also kind of weird. God damn, Sheena. Don't get all choked up now. I don't know what you expect at this point, guys. Jeez. God damn.
Streamer.
Keep this up, I might be able to quit my job. I don't want to do that though, but yeah. God damn, people. Somebody's praising Mephisto. Yeah, Uzi's got it. All this money is coming from Mephisto. Mephisto's funding the channel. I'm a Mephisto shill. Everything's Mephisto, guys. Agatha's Mephisto, Wanda's Mephisto, Hayward's Mephisto, Kevin Feige's Mephisto. It's all Mephisto. Oh God, okay. Can I pay attention to chat here? Sorry. Hope Wanda was going insane once the snaps out of Wanda's control. I hope I can't wait to see a full-on magic on magic fight. I want to see them throw down. I know they said the CGI is going to get insane, so I'm really excited to see how that all pans out and goes, because I can't wait to see what the climax of this whole thing's going to be. Vision hasn't shown up to the scene yet either, and if he can't be controlled by Agatha or Wanda, what's he gonna do? He's gonna come in there and be like, whoa, beat the shit out of some people, or they're gonna have to like magic him off. It's gonna be crazy, man. I think we're gonna get like a fucking magic beatdown, and then Doctor Strange is gonna show up, and then freaking Harry Potter's gonna show up. I was about to say Doctor Who. He's not a magic user. Gandalf's gonna show up. That's it. The Luke Skywalker cameo. It's just a bunch of wizards and witches coming together to fight Agatha. We have Gandalf show up. That's the Ian McKellen cameo. It's going to be as Gandalf. Guys. Ugh. Alright. If Agatha isn't the head witch of a coven and she is acting as agent for other realms, that would be interesting. That would be cool too. Maybe not Mephisto. I still want him to be Mephisto. And the missing person is Cosmo the Space Dog, comrade. That would be cool. If they, I mean, we've seen Cosmo. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. So he's out there. He's in this universe. But yeah, Cody, the moral of the story is I'm too small of a channel to really complain. I have a full-time day job, so I'm not worried if a video gets claimed. I'd rather have people see the video and subscribe, so that's what gets me through most of it. There's a couple of times, like if it's like one of these or one of my show reactions or something, like where I'm actually like reviewing, giving commentary, and I know it's going to get some views. I usually try to fight it, and some places will be fine. Like WB TV has been really friendly with me, so. But most the big movie studios, anything music related, you're never going to win. You're never going to win that claim.
Streamer.
Real Rich. Oh, I read that. Has this happened to you? Yes, I covered that. How long do you think the final episode will be? I hope it's movie length. I don't know. I hope it's at least an hour long, but so far they haven't hit that mark whatsoever. I at this point, I expect it to be about as long as we've seen them be up to this point. I'm not really expecting a huge... I don't know. I don't expect it to be more than an hour, to be honest. I would like it to be, like, honestly, but then again, it also makes my job harder to edit it. But I'd like to see more. The more, the merrier, but I've been liking the pacing of the show so far. I know a lot of people like to harp on The Mandalorian and WandaVision for how short the episodes are, but the episodes are so precise and focused that I don't care. I think they're the right time for the story that they're doing, so we'll see how it goes. Ian McKellen's already worked with Paul Bettany in the Da Vinci Code. You're right. You're right, that was Ian McKellen in Da Vinci Code. Holy shit, that was Paul Bettany? The monk? Holy shit. I see it in my head. I just needed to confirm that. I never realized he was that albino monk. He was Silas. Holy shit. I watched that movie a lot back in the day too, so but then back then I didn't really know who Paul Bettany was, so that's a nice call out. I didn't think about that. So then it could very well be somebody else. That dude clearly is a Mephisto hater. We got so many clues. Or Nightmare saying it doesn't make sense for it to be Mephisto. Okay, we don't need to antagonize anybody. So be nice. If somebody disagrees, it's fine. Old Scratch is also slang for Satan. Yeah, I did mention that earlier as well. I bet he said it was someone he hasn't worked with before. He's worked with Ian McKellen. Didn't he say he was like a classically trained actor that he wants to work with? He's always wanted to work with. Has he worked with, so then I don't know who it would be. Could Patrick Stewart? I don't know. Fuck. He really doesn't. Howdy. Hope you're doing well. I was wondering if all the commercials this episode is hinting to doctor, because unless your doctor has cleared you to move on with your life, maybe Doctor Strange might be that doctor. Thank you, Busy, for the $2. Here's $2. Lol. Thank you, man. You didn't need to do that, bud. I do appreciate it. So our little channels got to support each other. Another one from Typo, $4.99, guys. Jesus Christ, there's a few more from our Lord and Savior Beelzebub. Oh no, Jesus Christ! All right, guys, just letting you know ahead of time, this stream is sponsored by the devil, by Mephisto. Mephisto has sponsored this video, guys. Maybe that's why the quality's so bad today, because we're getting our reception from the center of the earth. Wi-Fi doesn't travel well through through dirt. Maybe Mordo comes in and it's too big for him and he has to go see Strange. That would be cool. It's like he shows up, he's like, yeah, man, I can't do this. Hey buddy, I need some help. I'll kill you later. Older Charles and Magneto are best served if they used voices in a What If episode. Need younger people for lengthy MCU story arcs. I mean, as just a cameo, it could be fine. They could just come out of the Nexus, out of their multiverse, lend a hand, throw some machinery, and dip back out into their world. I don't know. We'll see. Who's your favorite character? Again, Sonic? Of what? I need to know. Of the MCU as a whole, or just in this show? Once you specify, let me know. And then Dylan with a 666 super chat. Jesus. really banging this in, guys. Hammering that nail on the head. Oh my god. Krasinski is so perfect for Reed Richards. His personality would be spot on. I do agree with that. That's one like casting that I would really really latch onto. And I know like the fans have, which makes me wonder if they don't cast John Krasinski at all, is anybody going to be really happy with whoever they do pick at this point? Because we know that they're coming. We know the Fantastic Four is coming. So it would, if they can't get them, that would be a little disappointing. I won't lie, especially after that, because he's just such a good actor too. Show's definitely not going to have a happy ending, is it? No, I don't see the show having a happy ending, especially since we know that this show, what it sets up, doesn't conclude until Multiverse of Madness. I forget, and I apologize for this, because I know they've mentioned three things are connected. WandaVision sets up the events that are being dealt with in Spider-Man 3 and Multiverse of Madness. Kevin Feige's confirmed this, that the effects of this show will echo and be resolved in those two films. But what's the order?
Streamer.
Is Spider-Man 3 the conclusion of that arc? I can't remember what he said. I think he said it will conclude in the events of Spider-Man 3, but I could be wrong. So is Multiverse of Madness before or after Spider-Man 3? Let me know, because I don't remember. $2 from Cody. Thank you so much. I wish I could give you more. Dude, just being here and showing up is really enough. I'm really, you guys have just beaten me up with all this shit. And I really appreciate it. I do. Like, I don't expect people to like to donate. I don't, when I do this, it's just, you're gonna make me emotional, guys. Like, come on. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun before I get misty-eyed again. Nightmare is really powerful. This ain't comics. Nightmare is perfect for the series. Mephisto is a villain for something bigger, Thanos level. Again, could be. I just don't think we're seeing any of the signs for that. And again, I think my reasoning makes sense for something like Mephisto to be in the show and be Thanos level of a threat, because it doesn't resolve here. We know it doesn't resolve here. At this rate, the Bush is Mephisto. What's up? Want John Krasinski? Gosh, I'm so behind. Is Agatha stronger than Wanda? I don't think so. I think the only reason Agatha's got a hold on her right now is because she's been emotionally weakening her for so long now. One per episode, Anchors of the Universe. Yes, exactly. Anchors of the Universe. That's what it was. Specific characters known to be Nexus Beans, but I didn't want to name in case of spoiling some people. I think if we reference the comics, I don't consider that a spoiler, because this is just an adaptation, so it might not even be true. Because it's going to be different. I mean, they change stuff all the time. Agatha is more experienced at magic usage. Wanda has raw power. Exactly. So it comes down to Obi-Wan versus Vader. Vader's stronger. Obi-Wan was more skilled. He defeated Anakin. There you go. So comes down to it. Wanda's just got to get her emotions in check, and she might be able to come out on top. Do you think Agatha knows how powerful Wanda can be? I don't think she does. I don't think she knows how powerful Wanda was before starting this whole thing. Jesus Christ. Okay, I need to get up. I'm trying to catch up because I just realized how far back I am with reading things. Something in return. Careful, he will want something to return. Oh no. Yeah, I'm not making a deal with the devil. I'm just sponsored by him, right? That's how it works. Hope you're doing well. I wonder if your commercial in this episode is hinting to Doctor. I didn't think about it that initially, but it could be. Doctor Strange is going to come in and prescribe some reality check. Maybe he'll show up and reveal to Wanda what she is. Because it's very strong possibility, because isn't wasn't the Sanctum Sanctorum one of the Nexuses? I think they mentioned that in Doctor Strange, that the Sanctum Sanctorum that they guard is one of these nexuses of energy on the world. And maybe Westview was another one. Maybe? Can you react to the new Rockstars vid? I will after this. I'll be posting that later tonight. Mephisto making it rain. Omni about to explode. Yeah, man. Seriously. Wu's missing witness. We still don't know who. Yeah, I keep forgetting that's a plot line we haven't even touched on. Who is Wu's missing witness? Vision will fight once he gets home. Goodness. Keep the donos going. Only if you got it. I mean, I'm not here asking for anything. So I don't want anybody hurting themselves. Just watch the videos, chat, so, you know, interact. That's all we need. But if, I don't know. I don't, I don't know how to handle this. I've never been in this situation before. Did the stream die? Stream dead? Stream? Yeah, what the fuck is this shit, man? What is this? Like, dude, my internet's fine. I even rebooted everything just to be sure, but Jesus Christ. Hopefully we get a movie for episode 9. Doctor Strange beats Gandalf. Oh, dude, hell yeah. Aslan shows up. We'll get them all, man. Wanda was Mephisto the whole time. Use your allowance. We don't need to. I appreciate all of it, but guys, I don't want anybody hurting themselves. I appreciate the support, but don't. None of this. Use your allowance. I want more Howard the Duck. He's coming. We're getting more Howard. I think there's an animated show coming, if I remember right. I still remember Howard Duck cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep, he cameoed at the end of the first one and in the second one, I'm pretty sure. Doctor Who was actually in the Marvel Comics way back. He dropped off Death's head on top of Fantastic Four Tower. Who? Does Marvel still do the Doctor Who comics? Because I know the Doctor Who comics are still ongoing. What does Agatha want from Wanda? I think she wants her power. I think she's just leeching her raw power to fuel something. We don't know what yet, but that's what I think it is. Al Pacino, I'm not going to read that because that just kind of goes back to before. If that is... Biz, you're on Pog. What's up, Busy? Called you out earlier, but I'm so behind. The Monk. Maybe Kevin Bacon will show up as Nightmare. Paul hasn't worked with him before. He's not a classically trained actor, though, would you say? I don't know. Interesting. Stay chill, Russianese. Even if somebody says something, keep your chill. There's 2 hours and 6 minutes left of WandaVision, so I'm guessing next week will be 36 minutes and the final episode will be 90 minutes. Or maybe both an hour. 6 hour thing was said by Kevin Feige and Lizzie Olsen. Yeah, but I think that was also why a lot of people speculated that these last 3 episodes were going to be an hour long each, but they weren't. So the cameo might be Mordo. He's not that level. Patrick Stewart probably would be. I think Evan Peters from Fox, pulled from his universe, and Agatha's controlling them. I hope so. That'd be cool. Harry Potter actor, maybe? There's not many alive that would create waves. Big cameos. Christian Slater is Captain Planet. The evidence is there. Oh no. By your powers combine, I am Captain Planet. Get the info in 1 sec. Do you think Agatha is a real bad guy? I think she's the real bad guy of this show, but I do think she's working for another force. Are you excited to see Diggle interact with Team Batwoman or Team Supergirl more? Or which one? Supergirl. Supergirl. Because I don't really care about him talking to Luke, to be honest, in Batwoman. Giancarlo Esposito shows up. I wouldn't be surprised. He's always popping up and plays. He's Mephisto. Because he's got to be a villain. It's just his destiny in life anymore is just to play bad guys. Not sure if I want that sponsor. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Do you think Jay Garrick's appearance is setting up a Flash Stargirl crossover next season? Possibly. Eventually, there will be a crossover. They're not going to leave that in the pipeline. They've talked about it. The cast is excited about the possibilities of crossing over, so even since season 1, so it's a possibility. This is going to be a gateway to that. Love the channel and big hellos from Australia. Keep up the awesome channel work and conversations. Thank you so much. Tayson's Gaming Spot. Your dog is officially in WandaVision. Dill Pickle. Who's your favorite character in WandaVision? Okay. Is it fair to say Agatha? I think it's Agatha right now. It's Agatha right now. And it could change to Evan Peters depending on what we find out about who and what he is. Maybe Wong turns up to collect the book. It's late return and he is the librarian. His missing witness is the book. My bank account, the joke. Oh, Michael Fassbender. I would be down with that too, though I don't see that as a Luke Skywalker cameo. But I would like to see it. Someone was trying to say the guy in the background of this episode looked like John Kay. I'd have to look through that scene again. I was trying to pay attention when I was doing the reaction to see if there's anybody in the background, but I couldn't really make out anybody. I hate the Fantastic Four, so they could cast a package of dirty diapers to be the Fantastic Four. It's all the same to me. I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan, but they have their role in the universe and in the comics that I do respect. And I actually do like the first Fantastic Four movie. Not so much Rise of the Silver Surfer, but I think the Fantastic Four just gets a bad rap and people haven't done a good job making them a strong dynamic for general audiences yet. So I'm curious to see what Kevin Feige with his creativity will do with that, because it's crazy. I think Spider-Man 3 is first. I think that would make sense, like with it spreading into Spider-Man 3 and then in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, it would be after that. Okay, so the timelines is Spider-Man 3 comes out this year, Doctor Strange comes out next year, so that makes sense. So what happens here will affect Spider-Man 3. Doctor Strange shows up in both, and then it all concludes in Multiverse of Madness. What was the 10.3% meaning from the Nexus commercial? That's a good question. It could just be a number because it was a play on, I mean, it's never just something with a lot of these commercials. I don't know what it would be alluding to, but it could just be a number to make the advertisement make sense. But I don't know. Maybe it's the status of completion of whatever it is that Agnes is using Wanda's powers for. Well, there are a lot of characters who die in comics in connection to storylines and characters we know, so it's tricky getting into things. I play things super cautious. Definitely, me too. I don't ever get super attached to a theory unless there's so much evidence to it that it only makes sense to do one thing. Unless you present a turn of events, a subversion of my expectations that, when looking back on all the evidence, matches that subversion. Like if it's set up properly. Looks like the stream just keeps kicking people out. I think YouTube's having the problem. It can't be me. I'm going to run another speed test because it was perfect earlier and it's still garbage at the moment. Download's fine. Download's actually really fine. My upload is more than enough. Whatever's happening, it's got to be on YouTube's end, man. I've been uploading an 8-minute video yesterday took me 36 minutes, which doesn't make any sense. So I think YouTube might be having some issues. Especially since even if my stream dies or cuts out, it shouldn't be kicking you all out of it. We know there are a lot of characters, love the content. I was thinking a big cameo would be Dr. Doom, as we still haven't seen the astrophysicist, but they also think it blow our minds. Bring back Baron Mordo and lead into Doctor Strange 2. Dr. Doom, I think would be cool though, unless it would depend on who they cast. I don't think it'd be the big cameo unless he showed up in full costume. Otherwise, I don't think you would have that same kind of reaction. Again, that's just my guess and my opinion here. Olsen said 6 hours. We have the expectations, but Feige never said 6 hours instead of 9 to 10, 30-minute episodes. It's not 6 hours when you do the math, even though rough estimations because blah, blah. Makes sense. I don't know. I don't care as long as they wrap up the story and it's fucking entertaining. We'll see. I'm not too worried about episode length because it's not been a concern of me so far. Honestly, shorter episodes, if they keep the story tight and nice, it's easier for me to edit. You think the conflict with Agatha would be resolved at the ending that will set up the conflict with Multiverse of Madness? I think we'll resolve the conflict with Agatha, but whatever happens here will echo into the Multiverse of Madness in Spider-Man 3. Had a strange hope for Missing Witness, but unlikely no one is asking for the character. Just convenient, so many projects they have been announced. So who did you think, maybe I missed it or I'm not recollecting right now, but who do you think the missing person might be? For a second, stream's back. Yeah, stream kicked you all out again. Dr. Doom, Jeremy Irons, or Tom Cavanaugh? If I had to pick between the two of them for Dr. Doom, I would probably go with Jeremy Irons. Honestly, I'm starting to like Wanda less because of her behavior. Taking innocent people hostage. Also, her weird... how she's just didn't care about the kids' concerns this last episode. How she didn't care about what Vision's doing. It felt really out of character. She was being extremely selfish. And I thought that was so weird. Streams back, streams alive. Nice. Okay. Every time I came back, stream died, correlation to Ethernet, 10%. Nexus pill, 10th marked on the calendar. I forgot about that. There was the 10th that was marked on the calendar before. Some people seems to be having no problems with the stream, apparently. Howard the Duck was also in Endgame. Yeah, he was. He played as Satan in The Devil's Advocate. I don't know. I honestly just wouldn't want Al Pacino in the MCU in general unless it was for somebody that he would fit for. I don't know. I can't think of many people in the comics that I would cast Al Pacino as anyway. But that's me. That's my personal taste. Yeah, let's see. Don Cheadle shows up and says, "Boom, you looking for this?" It's got to be Patrick Stewart or War Machine Captain Planet. No. That's Pat. I don't know if you can see two comments I made up there at Guild Figure. I'm not sure which ones you're referring to, unfortunately. Scrolling back is a little rough and trying to find things. Mark Hamill is Mephisto. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for Mark Hamill as really anybody, honestly. I don't think Agatha will die though, but though well, I don't know. We'll see. Makes sense if it's Mephisto or Magneto. I agree. That would make sense, I think, with the story. Did you see the shadow in the window during the end credits scene? I did not. I'll have to go back and look at that again. I love the cameo where Mark Hamill playing an MCU character, bringing in the Luke Skywalker, big cameo, not to mention in a way it changes the way you're interpreting that comment. That would change the way you were looking at it. We have a Luke Skywalker-like moment. We actually have Luke Skywalker show up. Ads pop up. Luke Skywalker cameo would be Tony's corpse floating around. I mean, they are just possibly marionetting a bunch of dead people. That would be fucked up, though. Let's see. Oh my word, I've been typing in some other live chat. Good job. I was really open for a read, and it's still possible, but if it wasn't that RB major, I'd be quite disappointed. Great videos, by the way. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Also, we're not going to talk about how Darcy looked in her carnival suit? Dude, yeah, oh my god. I didn't think I had a carnival thing for a hot minute, but... Look good. Looking good. All I'm going to say. What's up, Jake? You think Agatha is behind everything and has been manipulating Wanda? I mean, it's kind of the implication that we got, but I do still think she's working for a higher power, but I think she's behind everything that's been happening. Won't be surprised if when Billy come back, they will be teenagers. I didn't think about that. That'd be interesting. As of Friday, we've gotten 3 hours and 54 minutes of WandaVision. If it's a 6-hour series, we have 2 hours and 6 minutes left, divided between the final 2 episodes of the series. Whew, if that's true, that's going to be crazy. So 40-minute episode 9, and then an hour maybe on the last one. That'd be interesting. It's going to be a painful night for me, but I'll push through. She wasn't out of character. I can't think of a mom that doesn't have that occasional I'm done with everyone's shit kind of day. I mean, that's true, but then again, that doesn't also mean you're being a good parent in that moment. Just because it makes it real, it's I don't know. It could be real, but it definitely puts her priorities out of place. And I'm not going to say that's a good thing, personally. Cursed images of Al Pacino as Squirrel Girl. No, Gargamon, why did you suggest such a terrible thing? Has the devil sponsored stream more? Is not. The devil is left already, it appears. But I'm okay, guys. Thank you so much. You think Wanda will get a new suit and officially become the Scarlet Witch by the end? I think she might. I expect her to craft her own headband or whatever you call it, that weird mask tiara thing she wears. I don't know what you would call that because it just attaches to the front of her head that she has in the comics. I'm curious if she embraces her full abilities or whatever. She like crafts a new persona or form for herself. She, if I did say at the end of this, she will become the Scarlet Witch, and that she hasn't been up to this point. I'm surprised they made Agatha a bad guy. Huge departure from the comics. Yeah. As a outright villain, yes. It is a little strange. So we'll see what they do with that. It could go either way, though. I think her new outfit is in a promo picture. Well, then I'm not going to look, because I don't want to... I'll see it when I see it. Mephisto created the mess of the DCEU, and the Avengers of the MCU stop us. Averages of the MCU. No Jossie with the twins will survive because Young Avengers. I think they'll come around too, because I think they'll be in Young Avengers as well. Are you going to react to the new Rockstar video for this episode? I will. I'm going to do that after we're done with the stream. I was going to live stream react to it, but obviously YouTube is having too many issues with the stream right now for me to do it and it be at least of the quality that I want to hold on the channel. What about the meaning of 66 minutes as they are 2 hours and 6 minutes left? Be very in tune with a lot of the hints that we're getting. If they made the final episode like an hour and 66, maybe like an hour and 6 minutes and 6 seconds, that'd be crazy. Cursed images. Paul acting as Clifford the Big Red Dog. All right. Well, they can die, reincarnate, but the timeline to the ages gets back to where other Young Avengers characters are being introduced. This phase is tricky. It's going to be definitely interesting to see how they start bringing everything together and tying everything and looping it all together into whatever's happening in this upcoming phase, man. With the what ifs, with Loki, with the time manipulation, with the reality manipulation going on in WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man, they can really do a lot to shake up this universe and set it on a path that's going to be really different. Especially, they're also bringing in Kang and Ant-Man, so they can really just kind of diverge from anything that the MCU has been up to this point and turn it into anything. So the twins were real. Effectively, yes, I think so. Yep, it is rewriting reality. Marvel's The Office, Marvel's the Harrys? I need an Agnes spinoff. I'd be down with that. I would. I still want an X-Files style Marvel spinoff. Let's get some people investigating paranormal stuff, just like it's always like maybe meta related or superhero related or something like that. Or maybe now that we have vampires, witches, and all that stuff in the MCU, and it's all normal, let's have people investigating situations like that. We can actually just have an MCU X-Files. I'd be down for it. But then again, I'm just really in an X-Files mood right now. Because, I don't know. I've been going through some nostalgia stuff. I added a bunch of X-Files clips to my alerts. I miss it, man. I'm probably going to do another rewatch of it here soon. It'll probably make the 11th time I've watched all of the X-Files all the way through. I'm going to find Darcy's circus outfit. Maybe Wanda sacrifices herself for everyone and is in Doctor Strange from an alternate reality. That would be depressing. That would make me sad. Imagine the first mutant that is gay, according to the comic books, is secretly a... Customized. Come on now. Are you going to react to Percy Jackson's Disney TV series? Probably not. I've read the first book, I've watched the movies, and I don't know if that's I don't know, man. I'd have to have nothing else going on to probably do a reaction series to it. Maybe check it out on my off time. I don't know. I'd have to really I don't have a lot of confidence in that project, so I don't think... Right now, I don't know if I would put my time and energy into doing a reaction series for it. Favorite episode so far is episode 3. What about you? Probably episode 5, I think. Just because I have a huge Evan Peters bias. Episode 6. Sorry, episode 6. The Halloween episode. I think that's my favorite episode so far because that's the most we've got of Evan Peters right now. Did I say Anthony Legator missing witness in this chat or the other one? You did say it in this one. I remember seeing that. Renee. It would be the recap and then say please stand by. Maybe Wanda makes herself a new suit for the final battle with Agatha. Possibly. Armand is right. The next episode should be an Agatha intro to the show. This is all doing... I don't know if I want it to be that. I want it to be how this all came to be. If the last episode's going to be really pinning up all these loose ends and stuff like that, and maybe everything kind of coming together, this episode needs to explain what Hayward's doing, what his goal is, and what he's done in the past that led to this. how Wanda got Vision's corpse, and how Agatha got involved in the situation. Those are the things I think next episode should address before we go into the finale. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Maybe the big bad is a big mouse. Damn you, Mickey. Haha, I'm coming to destroy the universe. Huh? Forgive whatever that is. Are you, maybe Wanda's original plan was simply to bide time while she uses the multiverse to find another Mind Stone for Vision. That could have been part of it. Who knows? It makes sense if that's the one thing that can keep him powered on. Are you excited for Superman and Lois premiere this week? I am, except I still don't have a resolution for my live television, so it's going to be a day late, which is still depressing. Because I want to do that night. So, but I'm not going to be able to do that. So it's going to be, you won't get to see that video until next day, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm definitely hyped up for that. It's getting some crazy good reviews so far, so I'm excited. Disney Open Board original writers or something. Can you do a stream on my birthday, St. Patty's Day? I'm not a briber, but I will donate on that day or weekend. Well, I mean, what day is that? What day is St. Patty's Day this year? March 17th. Looks like that's a Wednesday. It's possible, but I don't know. It depends, because March is when things is going to be really busy too, because we'll have Flash, Black Lightning, Batwoman, Wanda. Well, WandaVision will be over. Superman and Lois. And then we have a little bit of a break before Falcon and the Winter Soldier shows up. So it's going to be, I don't know what Wednesdays are going to look like yet. So we'll see. But if I can, I will. What's up, Jaden? RXSE. Why do I keep wanting to say C? Started watching from Cobra Kai. Now I'm a sub. Love the content and WandaVision. Thank you so much. I hope you continue to enjoy. I know not everybody here watches the CW stuff. I love DC too, so hopefully we can be down for that. Especially, I can't wait for Flash to come back, and I can't wait for Superman and Lois, and Falcon and the Furious. That's gonna be it. That was going to be hard to talk about, because if they're going to go to some really heavy themes, and I'm not the smartest person sometimes to like get around like really heady ideas and give like not like commentary that's relevant. But we'll do it. We'll see if we can get through it, because it's gonna. I know it's definitely going to push through a lot of like heavy social issues, so it's going to be a pretty divisive episode, and it's really hard to talk about that stuff with certain people that like to lurk around in the internet. But we'll do it. I stand by it. Thank you, Renee. That was for the Mickey impression. Well, thank you. You could have used that to get the Darcy outfit. Come on. Be responsible with your money. Do you think the pace in WandaVision is too slow? I don't think. I think it's been paced out pretty strongly. Though I do feel like it's paced as if it was released to be binged all at once. But on a week to week, I still prefer week to week, because we get to talk about it and theorize before the next episode drops. You're in sync with the whole community that's watching it. If you drop something all at once, I just don't like it, because you got people that are just going to watch it all in one day. You got people that are going to take 3 weeks to watch it. There's not as much control you have over the conversation that you get to have with the people that are watching it. So I think it feels like it's parsed out, and I think because it's shorter episodes, it does feel like it would probably work better as a straight run through watch. I think it's healthier for the show. So I don't dislike it either way. It's been fine for me. It keeps me guessing, and it keeps me excited for the next episode. And it's been playing with everything pretty well. I do think that they should have released the first 3 episodes all at once instead of just the first 2, because that turned off a lot of people. And that 3rd episode, because critics got all 3 of the first episodes 1, 2, and 3, and that teaser, that stinger at the end of episode 3 really lets you know, oh shit, something's going on. Oh my God, what's this? Episode 2 doesn't have that. Not really. Like, you know something's going on, but it doesn't really like hook you like that does. So I feel like the general audiences, should have been able to have that same opportunity, because you had a lot of people who watched the first 2 episodes. It was just like, I don't know if this is for me. And I think if they had that first 3rd episode when it dropped, it would have been different. And then you would watch those first 3, and you could watch those as one sitting. That could be technically an hour and 20-minute little intro to the show. And then from there, because after episode 3, that's when the pace started to move faster. So I think that would have worked a little bit better for people. And I don't know why they didn't do that. Racial tension with U.S. agent and Sam. Yes. There's going to be a lot of that. As well as they're supposedly diving into the history of the super soldier serum, because as at least, the super soldier serum in the comic was tested on African Americans prior to it being injected into Steve Rogers. So I'm wondering if they're going to tackle that aspect of it, because I've heard they might dive into that. I don't know if that was speculation or if that's something that's been talked about by the people behind it. And I don't know. It's definitely going to be heavy and hard to talk about. But I'm looking forward to it. Like, I wasn't initially, I'll be honest. Like, I like the super powered stuff the most when it talking about comics, unless it's Batman. But typically I like the stuff that in the MCU that involves superpowers, magic, stuff like that. So like when they announced Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was like, I mean, while I love Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Captain America is at least superhuman. Like, there's some elements of that was still a little more comic booky. It's not going to be the show that I look forward to when I'm like, all right, I want to chill and escape, because it's definitely, those movies like to dive into the Captain America movies, Winter Soldier, and then this clearly like to dive into reality and real social issues, obviously, especially with the government spying on you and all that stuff that Winter Soldier went into and dove into, as well as all that junk. It would be, I like escaping. So the things that are less like the real world is the stuff that I really gravitate to the most. Because I don't like being reminded about how garbage the world is at times, even though there are times when we need to have that conversation. And I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be one of those situations where it just adds on to what's been happening over the last couple of years, over the last couple century or more in the country. And it's a conversation that needs to be had, but it wasn't one that I'm looking forward to. Because again, it's one of those things that just shines a light on things that just makes life suck a little bit. If that makes any sense. You think Wanda could be birth of mutants? I do. I think whatever she's doing is going to give us mutants. Is it too much? He has many childhoods. Sounds like a YTP. I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I'm not sure what you're referring to in the LRG tech in those comments. And why are they copying me, Omni? I will ruin more animated movies if I keep going. Mickey voice. I was hesitant about it too, but I think the show will bring a lot to the table and bring a new level of discussion that wasn't present in most of the previous Marvel films. I do. Yeah, I agree with that. Do you think they'll have a 30-minute episode next week and then a movie-length episode for the finale, or 2 75-minute episodes? I don't know. Honestly, I would rather them both be an hour long than one of them being an hour and a half long, because it just makes it harder on me to edit. And I have to go to work after that. I wake up at 2 a.m. To start, shower and get ready for the episode to actually drop. Then I watch it, which takes with these about 30 minutes to get through. And then I edit for the next 3 hours. I usually don't finish editing and getting everything uploaded until like 6:30 and sometimes 7 in the morning, and I have to be at work at 8 in the morning. So if the longer I have to edit, the worse I'm going to be for the rest of the day. Been hoping that, yeah, do you think we'll get it? Okay, I'll answer that one. I think we'll be I've been hoping, gosh, I'm a little dyslexic. I don't know if I've talked about this, but like reading, like I mix up words really easily. And sometimes it happens when I'm talking too. I've been hoping that the hex that Wanda has created is to allow her to use her abilities to try to rebuild the physical structure of the Mind Stone from its atomized state until it's completely restored. You might be onto something there. Wanda could be a mother of the mutants if she creates all mutants, which is the opposite of House of M, where she got rid of all the mutants. I think I 100% think that's the route we're going to go. I think it's going to be Batman Inc., but Captain America Inc. I can see that parallel. Maybe she utters the line, "No more magic" instead of mutants, and that's why reality starts to break down multiverse-wise, because it needs magic. Ooh, could be. Doesn't give us mutants, but it could be. Captain America's in every country. I don't understand why Wanda would act dumb and oblivious to things in the previous episodes when now we know she is aware of it. I think she was just playing along with the reality of it, and the more it just gets stripped away, she just stopped caring about the act, and it's just, I don't know. We've seen her disassociate in a different way from the beginning as to where she started, so I think it still lines up a little bit. Because as we've moved along, she was trying to avoid it altogether and acknowledge it and just live in this fantasy life. And the more she tries to do that, she keeps getting pulled out of it. So the more along, she's like, all right, well, I can't avoid it, but I'm still going to live in my pocket reality. So that's kind of how I've been interpreting it. Can we just have a moment for appreciation for Elizabeth Olsen's stellar performance as Wanda? Because she really has done an amazing job at portraying someone who's experienced a great deal of trauma. Her and Paul Bettany both have provided really strong examples of their skill as actors by going through all of these gamuts of acting styles done in different eras, different emotions, and they've really touched on all of these different spectrums that they haven't been able to do in the movies before. Elizabeth Olsen was also really nervous and scared to do this show. Like, she liked what she was doing in the movies because they were huge. She knew billions of people watched them, but her character wasn't always in the forefront. So like, she was really, even in Ultron, like, she was in a small portion of the movie, you know, like character screen time wise. So there wasn't a lot of pressure there. But then Kevin Feige, like, the way she talks about Kevin Feige approaching her for this series, and be like, "Oh, you're going to be the star of the show. You're going to be in every episode and damn near every scene." She's like, "What?" I think she's proved just how strong of an actress she is in this. She's gone through all of these emotions. She's been so natural and real about all of it. While all these fantastical elements are going in, playing these different acting styles, because like 50s sitcom acting is so much different than modern acting or acting in general today. Like, there is a way you talk to the camera, there's a way you look, there's a way you talk and do all this stuff, and both her and Paul Bettany had to learn to do that for this show, and they nailed it so well, especially because I grew up with a lot of that stuff, and it could fool me, and you could say that this is a remastered old show and I would believe you. Like, it's brilliant, like how well they've been doing. And you can be a Martin Scorsese and poo-poo on superhero stuff all you want, but it can never undercut like how brilliant some of these performers are that are working on these projects. Can't imagine anyone else as Scarlet Witch, not at this point. In the next episode will be a flashback. I hope so. I hope that's the case. I want to see them explain everything and then use the final episode to just conclude it. knock it out of the park. Give us a bang out send off. I was curious when she was cast as Scarlet Witch, but yeah, I was very curious and a little cautious. I didn't really like the casting originally for either of them, for Pietro or her. But look where that's landed us. I thought the casting of Heath Ledger as Joker was stupid and didn't make any sense. The guy from The Knight's Tale is going to be the Joker? I was fucking wrong. And that's why I just don't really judge castings anymore. I was like, well, there's a reason they did it, and we'll see if they live up to it. And she's more than lived up to this whole thing. And I mean, I grew up watching her sister's movies a lot because they were huge when I was growing up, like the Olsen twins. Like I grew up watching most of their movies. But then as they got older, I mean, they never really got better at being actors. Like they were not good actors. But she like blows them out of the water, man. Especially when it comes to acting. If this gives us the mutants, it has to be the multiverse, not inventing them here. Because 99% of Wolverine's story is ridiculously long life, multiple wars, etc. Then again, she rewrites reality. Who says she can't rewrite the past? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There's definitely going to be a way they do it. When thinking about how the show will introduce mutants, it would be weird for them all to be created and be mutants from this point onward. Because yeah, like you said, it does change a lot of mutant history for a lot of the big ones, especially Wolverine, especially Magneto. If we get a new version of those characters in this universe, it'd be weird if they're like, I'm Wolverine. I've just had my powers for a week. It'd lose a lot of that impact and punch from there. I was very curious when she was cast as Scarlet Witch, but she was introduced in a bad movie made by a bad person. Yeah, I agree with that. The acting in the show has been superb. What's your take on the main villain? Do you think it's Agatha? Of this show, I think the main villain is Agatha, but I think she is working for another force, and it's Mephisto. It's Mephisto. Yeah, Hustle knows that too. I'm interested in the implications of the Mind Stone can survive outside the Hex. Yeah, like what's with Vision only being able to live in the Hex while people like Monica and them can come and go. And it's not like he was reverting into his broken form. He was being ripped apart. He was being dismantled completely, which is not the state that Wanda kidnapped him in. He was still in whole pieces. That was ripping him apart. Molecule by molecule. Molecule by molecule. Molecule by molecule. Do you think... I think Dottie is Arcana. I think Dottie is just a resident, personally. But we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if there are other players involved with Agatha that have been playing a role in this charade. It's only been a week that this Hex has been in place. Yep. It has been. It's only been a week. Only a week has passed. People don't realize that Michael Keaton wasn't liked as Batman. Yeah, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Right? People look back on that now and they're like, Michael Keaton's the best Batman. So yeah, it is. When you go into it, you have no idea. And this plays into the thing that like big actors in general are always known for the thing that broke out, you know, and it can lead to tragedy in a lot of them's performances and their livelihoods afterwards. Because I talked about it, I did a review on it here recently on the documentary about Pat Morita, the guy that played Mr. Miyagi. You know, the documentary itself is more than Miyagi. You know, he got so typecast into that kind of role after that because it resonated so well with everybody that he was only seen as Miyagi from that point forward. And that pretty much helped his self-destruction of his life after that point. Both the fame as well as his ability to get any other roles. At the same time, you have people who are remembered for that who could do other things. Sometimes they're not given the other chance. And even us, we're guilty of being like, oh, well, they were in this movie, they played that role. They couldn't possibly do that one. And then people like Heath Ledger come in, And we see a side of them we didn't see him ever do before. There was a potential there that we never actually got to see. So you have people like me, I'm guilty of it back in the day, was like, I don't know how that's gonna work. That guy, really? And then holy shit, he goes down in history as one of the best performances ever, you know? So I've learned to not be that person. So, as best as I can. Sometimes there's gonna be a case where I'm just like, I've seen enough of somebody's catalog to be like, I don't know about that. Or maybe it could just be look-wise, where it's like, they can act, they're great actors, but they definitely don't look the role. There's like situations like that, but then you kind of get into the gray areas of whole casting stuff. But then again, I've learned to trust the MCU so much because of their direction and their competence. They could just do what they want at this point, and I'm just going to be along for the ride. However you spell it. I am Mephisto. So actors in past films are not judged from later projects just because you don't. So actors' past films are not a judge of them for later projects. Just because you don't see them in it doesn't mean they can't do it. Exactly. It's a set before Spider-Man Far From Home. In that movie, it seems this event doesn't have too much an effect on the world. Or it did. The effect of this could be why J.K. Simmons is in that movie as J. Jonah Jameson. Because we know that whatever happens in WandaVision is a primary plot point of Spider-Man 3. So whether or not we saw the implications of it in Spider-Man Far From Home, we'll see it in Spider-Man 3. I think we saw like the hints of it, is what it is. But we'll see. Vision will be dead at the end for sure, but because he's not present in Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. Yeah, I hope. I don't want them to keep killing Vision, though. I really hope they find a way to bring him back. Maybe after Multiverse of Madness fixes everything. He's just such an endearing character, and I don't... Paul Bettany just needs to be around longer. And given more due. Didn't give enough of Vision in action, so I'm hoping he stays around. Me too. Multiverse is shattered and is being fixed will probably merge some realities. Thus, you get mutants that will be here all the while, even while they have not. As well as J.K. Simmons and these alternate versions of Dr. Octopus and Electro in Spider-Man 3. I think it's going to be a Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of way, where we get exposed to the multiverse, we get to exposed to all these realities, and then in Multiverse of Madness, they're going to condense it all into one Earth where they can kind of pick and choose the elements they want to keep. So you can have mutants that have been there all the while, but now they're just now joining the MCU. And you can have actors that may have done a great job playing a role in another movie, but that movie's storyline's not going anywhere anymore. Like Alfred Molina, bring him in. And now he's part of your universes. This universe is Doc Ock. Same with Electro. We know Jamie Foxx is a great actor. He was just in a movie that wasn't received all that well, and honestly wasn't written all that well. Give him another chance. Bring him in. Because they haven't confirmed whether or not they are from those other universes, and now evidence with Evan Peters, just because they look like they're from another universe, given we don't know the origins of Evan Peters in this episode or in this show yet. It could just be impressions or echoes from the multiverse causing all of this, and the result of them fixing what happens is condensing everything back together. Like, if you're not familiar with Crisis on Infinite Earths, it's a DC storyline in which, of course, all of the multiverse, all the different Earths, iterations, multiple versions of different characters exist simultaneously, but at the end of this massive event that involves all of them coming together, it comes down that only one Earth can survive. So all of reality, all the different possibilities get condensed together into a singular Earth, which has elements of all these different elements that came originally from a different storyline. Pretty much allows them to pick and choose what they want to keep. What they want to keep in their universe, what they want to discard from the universe, and where they want to go with the universe. It frees them from any other shackles the previous canons left them with. Don't hate Agent S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon. Darkhold. mean, I don't hate, but Kevin Feige doesn't like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And for all intents and purposes has been ignoring Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. altogether. So if you like the show or not, Kevin Feige is law in the MCU, so whether he makes it a canon or not is all up to Feige. And up to this point, he's pretty much confirmed that it's not. So we'll see. We'll see. He has the power to make it so. Arcana of the comics. Kenna Jones is married to Philip Jones, who is a David Schwimmer looking guy. That's another thing. Norm, that guy in there, not Norm, I can't remember his name. The guy that got fired, the guy that's married to Dottie in the bubble. I was like, he looks like a 70s or late style David Schwimmer kind of with the mustache and everything. Obviously shorter, but yeah, he gave me some Ross vibes in a way. Wolverine, I'm nervous about. Me too. That's going to be a casting they're going to have to nail. So now we know what Herb was trying to say, because we're all blank. So now that we know it was Agatha all along, what was Herb trying to say? Because we're all puppets? Dead? Under Agatha's control? Gonna be a lot of things now. If they kill him 3 times already, then we riot. Yeah, man, I agree. Stop killing Vision. Maybe be like the comics. Vision would be alive, but with no emotions or compassion. I think that's what Hayward wants, and if that's what Hayward gets, I think we'll all lose in the end. I need Charlie Cox as Daredevil, though. Me too. Like, that's what I want more than anything out of this multiverse. Actually, yeah, I'd even argue more than I want Evan Peters to come in, because as much as I love Evan Peters, there's a lot of baggage that comes with the Fox X-Men universe. And if they found a way to detach him from that, hell yeah. But the Daredevil show and Charlie Cox's performance as Daredevil all by itself deserves to be in the MCU. And that's what I'll riot about. If they just never do anything with that, I'll be upset. Disappointed. I'll still watch, but I'll be heavily disappointed. Don't sweat it, sis. It's not like your dead husband can die twice. You're right. He'll die 3 times. Ever heard that Kevin Feige doesn't like S.H.I.E.L.D.? The biggest reason it wasn't acknowledged before was because of their differences between Marvel Studio and Marvel Television, which isn't the case now. Yeah, but Kevin Feige didn't consider anything outside of Marvel Studios canon. He didn't have any control over it, and it's because he didn't have any control over it that he doesn't count that as under their umbrella. Like, he's talked about it in interviews. So it all comes down to what, but because they've liquidated it, because they got rid of Marvel Television and brought it into Marvel Studios, it's now under his umbrella. And he can do with it whatever he wants. Whether he wants to make Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. an alternate timeline where some things kind of just played out differently, and then he brings it in officially, he can do it that way. Or he can finally say the words that it exists in canon. Because you got to think, the Netflix shows were doing the same thing. They were playing the exact same song and dance that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was. They would reference they would reference the Hulk, they would reference Thor, they would reference the event that took place in New York when the invasion happened in the Avengers. They tried to stay connected, but Kevin Feige just kept ignoring them and didn't do anything about running with it, no matter how much they tried. Eventually, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kept trying to stay connected, but the Netflix shows just stopped altogether trying to insert what is going on in the movies into the shows, which sucks. Yeah, Daredevil is not currently canon. They be condensed the Earths until after the battle world and like not phase 9 or something. No, I think it'll definitely be, if they go the multiverse route, I think we'll see something like that in this phase. Do you believe any Avengers will make an appearance? Doctor Strange. Though technically he's not an Avenger in this universe. Maybe it'd be Sean Bean playing Vision. I'd understand him dying this often. I think she did everything to incite Vision's suspicion, so he tries to get out of the hex, so Agatha has free reign with Wanda. I was thinking that too, because we know she was acting when she was talking to him, and she seemed to have been goading him, making him more curious and stuff, so that maybe he'd try to leave and die, because does she know that he can't exist beyond the wall? I don't know. Is Agent Carter canon? It's in the same boat as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It was also a Marvel television show, so it all comes down to whether or not Kevin Feige chooses to acknowledge it or not. Have I met Elizabeth Olsen? No, I have not. Wanda introduces the X-Men, a group of mutant, the Ox-Men, a group of mutant Ox by Professor Ox. God damn it. My theory is Wanda will have spread the citizens of Westview through the multiverse, and she will wake up the Chin universe, and therefore big cameo from the X-Men and ties them in, and Multiverse of Madness help. That would be some 5D chess right there if they did that. Quicksilver scenes in the X-Men were way better than the MCU. Oh yeah. But then again, the Quicksilver scenes in those X-Men movies were the best scenes in those X-Men movies too. The lady wasn't the engineer. He didn't show up because he didn't want Hayward to find out he was helping Monica because he works for S.H.I.E.L.D. or S.W.O.R.D. We still don't know. I'm not going to hop on that bandwagon until we have more evidence of that, because again, you got people who also cite the translations of the subtitles in other languages, and it refers to, when she's talking about the person she knows, it refers to a woman. So might not be, we don't know yet. I don't know. We'll see. I won't be upset either way, to be honest. If it is the woman, if it's not the woman, it's not really going to bother me in the long run. Unless it's like a huge Reed Richards reveal. Kevin Feige didn't just ignore those shows. He wasn't the head of Marvel television. Now he is. Nothing was ever said about the Netflix shows, and S.H.I.E.L.D. aren't canon. Nothing has ever said the shows aren't canon. I mean, that automatically makes them not canon if Kevin Feige isn't in charge of them. Kevin Feige is the guy that signs off on whatever's MCU canon. So if he wasn't in power, and that's one of the reasons he said he doesn't know where they fit in, and he said this in reference to the Netflix shows. He wasn't in charge of them, so he doesn't know how they fit into the universe. If he doesn't know how they fit into the universe, that means they're not canon. So he's talked about it. So, but he can do so now. Until we have confirmation from him, it's a big old question mark to me. Yeah, well, recently he has said that those shows aren't canon. He did, there was an interview a month ago where he had talked about whether or not they are. Maybe she's Agatha. Maybe she's Agatha's in this. Reason Vision disintegrated outside the hex, so Wanda expands it. Maybe Agatha's the reason Vision was disintegrating outside the hex. Possibly. I'd argue that the end of Endgame, Captain America knighted everybody as honorary Avengers. I think that's a fair assumption too. Though they've never really mentioned it too much. I had a Cowboys of Moo Mesa flashback. Oh my god, that show. I remember that show, man. Holy shit. I want Legion to show up in Phase 4, but play by Dan Stevens and get Aubrey too. Legion's another one that's kind of lost to the winds. We'll see how that comes into play. What happened to that girl in the first episode? She also had all the stuff that was going to be on Hulu, like Hellstrom and that Ghost Rider show that got canceled because of Marvel Television getting bought up and all that shit. Someone said it might have been her Skrull friend that she met. That is a good theory too. It could be, because she did have a Skrull friend. Quake and Secret Invasion, possibly. What happened to that girl in the first episode who kept saying stop it? You reckon she was saying stop it to Wanda, controlling her because Agatha might have been controlling her? Maybe? I don't know. She was in episode 2, but we haven't seen her since episode 2. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. low-key made the Darkhold book like a fake cult collectible you'd find at Walmart. Oh, the shade. Kevin Feige can defeat Mephisto. He can. He's all-powerful. He's the lord of the MCU. Whatever he says is law. It's either Darkhold or the Necronomicon. That was my first thought. Was like, was that the Necronomicon? Is the Necronomicon even in the MCU? I don't remember. Or in Marvel Comics? I can't remember. Because I know it's in DC, but removes Netflix shows from canon. Yep. Hold on. Where? Is Westview Agatha's home for hundreds of years, and she somehow summoned Wanda there? That's an interesting question, because Agatha, at least Agnes's character has always lived in Westview. So is Agatha always lived in Westview? There's some questions that raises, some theories that I can go into. So Feige can't defeat Mickey though. Needs an Avengers style team for that. Yeah, you're not wrong, man. Once you're owned by the mouse, man, the mouse is all Captain Marvel 2. I'm actually looking forward to that one now. I hope it's explains what's been going on between Monica and her and all that. The one above all. Probably a book of Karma. The book out of the Karmatage, or however it's written. Easy tie-in for Strange. Could be. Out-of-state plates on her car. Fair point. I never paid attention to her plates. The Dark Avengers, Jim Shooter, Joss Whedon, and any racist comic book writer ever. Oh no. Yeah, let's not give them power over a book at all. You think Ralph is real? I do, and I think he's Mephisto. I think Ralph is this off-screen being that she's working for. She's the main villain of the show. Again, I'm just going to keep reiterating this. I think she's the main villain of this show. And Ralph, Scratch, Mephisto, the devil in the details, all of it is who she's working for. We're not going to see them. We're not going to hear them. We might hear them, but we're not going to see them. We're not going to physically be there. We're not going to fight Mephisto. They're going to save that for later for something bigger. But I think he's where Agatha has been puppeting all the strings, I think he's the one that's been puppeting Agatha. And not really puppeting. It's not really puppeting when like you're doing something for them or whatever. Do you reckon Quicksilver is being controlled by Agatha? I hope so, because I want it to be the actual Quicksilver and not just something she's conjured up or someone she's having pretend to be him. How Vision's body got to Sword. Maybe they stole it. Maybe they stole it. Well, I mean, at the end of at the end of Infinity War, they had it for that 5-year span before the blip happened at Endgame. So let's say Vision's corpse was there. Wanda got blipped away. Bucky got blipped away. A bunch of people got blipped away. They didn't know what to do with it. The people that were still there operating what was still S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time, or the remnants of it, Captain America, whoever, probably just took it back and they just got their hands on it. I don't know if we need a whole explanation as to how it got to Sword, but we definitely need to know how Wanda found out about the body, where it was, and how she found out, or if she found out what was being done with it. What's the beef between Monica and Captain Marvel? I don't know. I really hope we find out. Will there be different takes on the last scene of episode 5 where there was a different character at the door each take? Which character would you guys think it could have been? I don't know. That's an interesting thing. Like if it wasn't Quicksilver and it was just somebody else. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest. Or who I would even choose. Ralph is the sandwiches. Who do you think the bunny is? I hope the bunny is just a nod I hope it's not actually her son, and I hope the bunny's not also the mailman, but that would be funny. I don't think so, since we saw Agatha arrive in Westview in her, I was gonna say Twitch, in her witch costume and change of clothes. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. I always keep forgetting about that. Have you read Boruto? I have. I am up to date on, unless there's a new issue. I've read the most recent issue of Boruto. It's getting kind of crazy. Hasn't it been confirmed that Charlie Cox is entering the films? It hasn't been confirmed. It's merely rumored so far, and I'm crossing my fingers because I want it to be true. Mephisto will be the successor of Thanos in the next 10 years of the MCU. I don't know if Mephisto will be the big bad of the next 10 years. I kind of hope Galactus will be. But I think Mephisto will be like a big part of a chunk of whatever it is they're setting up. Perhaps there was some part of Sokovian Accords that forced Wakanda to turn it over. Probably. Accords were thick as fuck. Thicker than Thanos, man. Because big death in the Naruto universe has happened, and I won't spoil. Hold on. I know this is a WandaVision stream, but hold on. February 19th. Shit. One came out yesterday. Fuck, I'm a chapter behind. No. Okay, yeah, don't tell me. I'll probably be reading that later. It's her cat. Senor Scratchy is Ralph. I don't know, man, because Ralph and the Fly were in the same scene together, and I'm pretty sure the Fly is Ralph. Gina Paris said she was super excited for fans to find out Monica's engineer friend. So is that lady her? So okay, if she said that, then I definitely don't think it's the lady. Then if that's something she said, then yeah, it's definitely not Goodner. Mickey is also protected against the Avengers by the power of the Keyblade. Awesome Keyblade or KH merch in the background. I've got a bunch of shirts too, man. I've got almost all of the Kingdom Hearts pops so far. Got one of the play arts up there, still in the box. Favorite video game series. I was actually playing a little bit of 3 yesterday just to chill. Quicksilver was dressed very 90s to me. I'm probably reaching, but I thought that was interesting. No, he definitely didn't. He definitely wasn't dressed like he was before. But if he was dressed 90s, that wouldn't match up with where we are currently in the show, because the show's in like the 2010s right now. 2010s. I don't see any reasonable scenario where how Sword got Vision. Can't imagine Cap letting government institution have his body. I mean, it's not really in his control at this point. I mean, the world's in a point of desolation. Even the government is at this point. They don't know what's going on. Maybe they handed it over because maybe these scientists might be able to reactivate him or repair him, and they've just never been able to do it. I mean, there's nothing they could do with it. Unless, I mean, Wakanda was their best bet. But it could be like they said, it could be like an Accords thing. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they even dive into it or not. I think Monica's picked at Captain Marvel not for being there when Maria had cancer. That was my thought too, because she had been off traveling the galaxy and all that shit. So maybe she wasn't there, or maybe Maria went off on an adventure with her and that got her cancer. It's hard to tell yet, but I definitely think that's a big part of it, is the relationship with her mom, or maybe her mom's cancer. I think in the next episode is a flashback to just after Endgame, getting her Vision, Agnes, and all that, and hopefully all that gets set up. Galactus, yes. Have you seen Emma Caulfield, aka Dottie's, work as Anya in Buffy the Vampire Caesar for 5 seasons? I have. I've seen all of Buffy. I love Buffy. Unfortunately, it's also tied to Joss Whedon, but doesn't outshine all the work put on there by all those amazing women. Galactus would be another phase because you wouldn't need to set up Fantastic. You would need to set up Fantastic Four and have Silver Surfer appear ahead of him. Yeah, and that's something they would build up to. That's why I said I think Galactus would be a Thanos level thing, because Thanos took 3 phases to set up. So we could have that same amount of phases to set up Galactus. I was just saying I don't think Mephisto will be a Thanos threat. I don't think we're going to get 3 phases of Mephisto. I think we could get 3 more phases or more or whatever to set up Galactus. The bunny is Doctor Strange, who got there before Wu and was captured by Agnes. If she schooled and caught him off guard, I don't see how anybody's going to like beat her at this point. What if Evan Peters is playing her son Nicholas Scratch and he just, maybe she warped him into that appearance. Could be. And then he could also be the mailman, which ties into what we said earlier with the little dudes that he said and the bunny ears and all that shit. But is the rabbit and Mr. Scratch or Nicholas Scratch the same person? Are you reading King in Black? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. And some other pieces in your place as well. Wish people knew Dr. Druid and his connections to things and see how well he would fit in the missing witness. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know that reference. I'll tell you that. How you feel about Kishimoto writing the rest of Boruto and people seem to forget Kishinev like to kill characters. Remember Neji? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about this new episode, but I like how the manga's actually been progressing. It's been a lot more gripping than the show has been, because the show has been all filler. Like I watched about 70 episodes before I was just like, I need the story to happen. If it's taking them 100 and some episodes to get to Kawaki, what the fuck are they doing over there? Seriously. God damn. Anyway, back to WandaVision. I would love to see if, Ralph was the main villain for season 4, but we never see him. We just keep hearing his name. Oh, that would be torture. Why would Agatha bring back Quicksilver, though? She needed... Again, the Fox Quicksilver, I don't know. Because it begs a lot of suspicion because it's not Aaron Taylor Johnson. So, I don't know if I can answer that one just yet. Fulcrum only if his name is revealed as Brad Pitt style cameo. Quicksilver was dressed like Omni in the mid-credits scene. Hey, just because he had a beanie, that's beaniest. Will there be less excitement about Falcon's series because of WandaVision, or will people expect too much because of WandaVision? Honestly, I think if anything, it's going to ramp up people's desire for it and excitement for it, because I think WandaVision impressed a lot of people and proved a lot of the people are like, can Marvel work on TV? And they're seeing that they're getting these shows are treating this stuff seriously and with the same budget and respect as the films would get. And I think WandaVision is the test of that. With everybody talking about WandaVision the way they are, I think people are going to be more on board with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I just hope they go into it with expectations that it's going to be a much more grounded story. I hope they don't go in expecting like this whole like shebang that we've had with this, but it's going to have that same level of production and effort put into it. So I think it's still going to start off strong and see where it goes. That's awesome. Bro, Kingdom Hearts is also one of my favorite series. Good taste. I agree. Rabbit is either Mephisto or Agatha's son. Or a familiar. She is a witch, and witches do have familiars. And also, it was purring, which I thought was weird. I don't think, as far as I know, rabbits don't purr. Engineer friend could just be a woman, as we saw. Can't expect everybody to, Yeah, I mean, if it's true that Tiona said that she's excited for people to see the engineer, well, that person definitely didn't leave an impression, so we'll see how that goes. Spectrum, because she's seeing energy spectrums. Exactly. Well, thank you for stopping in, Renee. I hope you have a good night. Thank you. And remember, You gotta get that Darcy outfit. You committed to it. Who would you cast as Silver Surfer? I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to cast, because honestly, you just need somebody that's shaped like a human, because he's just going to be turned silver. I don't know. Again, I'm not the greatest with just coming up on the spot with castings, so I apologize for anybody with those questions. There's somebody like Reed Richards. What are your thoughts on the upcoming Eternals movie? I'm excited, though I'm just confused as to what it's going to be, because it's going to be like a century-spanning, like multiple century-spanning storyline, and I'm curious how they're going to pull that off. I'm intrigued, and I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea what to expect with it, though. Like I said, my guy, to be fair, like I have female friends and we call them, you know, you're one of the guys, or you're with the guys, or we say, what's up, guy, dude, whatever. I don't know. You're right. So it's going to be just interpretation. So I don't know. Because my guy or my dude, like I can see that being gender neutral in some circles. Which is a stretch, to be honest, but I don't know. We'll see. I want to meet her guy, though, goddammit. Kids are the rabbit. And the fly, as the rabbit was getting petted by Wiccan, and the fly on the side speed was the fly green speed's colors. I think that's a stretch. The kids can't be the rabbit, because the rabbit and the kids have been in the scenes together. The Fly has also been in other scenes, I'm pretty sure. But this was the first time we got a big focus on it. Because I've heard people mention The Fly before, but I've also not paid attention to it. Yeah, I don't see that one, though. Don't forget Pulsar. Well, now the rest of Boruto is going to now be manga, and the anime canon is going to expand. Well, I might be more interested in watching it from that point on then. Because it's been a bit of a chore to get through it. I've liked some of the expanding storylines they've done, but man, they needed to get into the meat of the story quick, because it's driving me insane. Yeah, I guess that doesn't make sense. If it was the Skrull Girl from Captain Marvel, why would she be a guy to Monica? Again, it just goes back to what I was saying. Hold on. We get it.
Streamer.
Thank you, Scott. Are you excited about Suicide Squad? Also, do you think we'll see Diggle team up with Kara, Barry, and Ryan in the field in an episode he's in? At the same time, I don't think so. But I do think he'll team up with each one of them for the individual episodes that he appears on their shows. And yes, I am really excited for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I'm really excited to see what he does with that. That team definitely fits his tone. Those types of movies that he likes to make, and I think he'll do a really good job with it. My concern is, with the current state of DC, is how's that going to impact the stories going forward, because it will be the first one that directly calls into question the previously established canon and what that is. So while I'm excited, I'm also nervous, because it also, with how things are, it will also say a lot about the current, what is considered current canon, and that's what I'm kind of on the edge to kind of see about it. But I'm excited for it as a standalone movie by itself, though, because I know James Gunn has been just consistent with me, and I like his tone and the stuff that he does. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Sorry, I thought you were into Marvel Comics. King in Black is an ongoing Marvel event where Null, God of the Symbiotes, is invading Earth. I've read about it. I haven't read it. I'm transparent. I'll just be honest. Like, there's too many comics for me to read everything that's current. Most of my comic experience, most of my Marvel and DC ingestion comes from animated shows, animated movies, games, movies, and TV. Everything else I read about. I'll read a synopsis of what happened. I'll read a character bio. I read about these worlds because I love these characters. I just don't have the time to go or the money to buy all the comics that I want to read. So that's what I do. And I know that's kind of the cheaper way to get it, but most of that is I could have a doctorate almost on the amount of Wikipedia pages that I've read for Marvel characters and DC characters. So a lot of it's more encyclopedic knowledge than I have with firsthand knowledge. And I'm not afraid to admit that, because I just, as an adult, don't have that kind of time anymore. Otherwise, I would. Where we leave off. You're saying that Mephisto is probably not the main villain, then what's the problem of showing him in the last 2 episodes? I mean, we could see him, but I don't know. I mean, there's not a problem with it. I'm just saying, like, it just kind of, the way I feel about it is like, if we show him, it might take away from Agatha as the villain in it. As long as we allude to him. If it's like a Thanos kind of thing, like where we kind of see him in the shadows, like barely up on the throne, like we saw at the end of the Avengers teaser, at the end of the credits on the Avengers movie. Something like that would be fine. I just don't think he needs a huge focus in the show to take away from Agatha as the main villain. Evan Peters could be Quicksilver from other multiverses. He might not be from the Fox. That is also true. He just because he's a Quicksilver in a different universe, sometimes Quicksilvers in alternate universes still look like the other ones. I mean, you can evidence that with the way the multiverse has been handled in other properties. You know, sometimes on other Earths, they use the same actors to play some of these characters just because they have them as a utility, and sometimes on other Earths, they just look like other people. Like, let's use DC for an example. In the Earth X crossover, Oliver looks exactly like his Nazi counterpart. In Crisis on Infinite Earths, you know, they have a reference to the version of him that was in Smallville. The Smallville had a version of Oliver that looked like, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name right now? Justin Hartley. So sometimes they share the same face, sometimes they don't. So it could be one of those. That's when you start to ride the line of it being confusing for general audience members and not people who are really versed in comic book lore and switcheroos. So I think they could kind of run a little bit of a gamble if it's not the Fox one. To answer the why did Agatha bring Quicksilver, I think she can't revive anyone. Think about her asking her to do that in the Halloween episode, so she had to reach out in the multiverse and took the first Quicksilver she found and controlled him. Right. That's what I'm kind of thinking too. Unless it's again, if she uses magic to change the appearance of anything, because we haven't really seen that done. Nobody's face has been altered, which makes me wonder if they can't alter perception or people's appearances, and maybe that's why we can't make whatever she's conjuring into Aaron Taylor Johnson, but then that would also imply that the mailman can't shapeshift, the rabbit can't shapeshift, and a bunch of other questions. There's a lot of... We need to understand the science behind Evan Peters, and I think that'll answer a lot of our questions about how some of this world functions. Which Captain Sony, if they cared. Yo, man, check out the new Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer on Marvel's YouTube channel. It's like 1 minute long. Did it just drop? Ready to open.
This is go.
Oh, it's from yesterday. It's only 30 seconds long. I don't know. I think I might take a break on that one or do it later. Yeah, the one that's on there is 31 seconds, so I don't know. I might do a video on it. Unless it's something I know I'm going to have a lot to say, I usually avoid shorter clips and trailers and stuff like that, but we'll see. I might. Purring in Cadbury commercial, make it so. Cadbury commercial, make it so. That'd be funny. Took the first one. The Rock, what's your problem? Fisto won't play a part here. At best, he appears in the post-credit scene in the last episode, which is what I'm saying, man. Chill. Need to back off of each other. I'm getting tired of it. Could be Blue Marvel. Monica's engineer could be Blue Marvel. All of Monica's comic aliases: Photon, Pulsar, Spectre, Lady of the Light, Monica, Marvel, and Spectrum. Yep. John Krasinski is Reed Richards. As her friend, I will explode. Sorry if somebody already said this, but are you going to react to New Rockstar's breakdown for this episode because it's really good? I'm going to after this. I was going to do a live reaction of it, but the stream's been really unstable and I don't want it to ruin the integrity of the video, so I'm going to post it after this. They're putting the TV show behind them. I was thinking about that too. Maybe they're in the TV show that Wanda was watching on there. The kids show. They could have got sucked in there. And thank you, Zachary, for the sub. If Mephisto is the bad, anyone can maybe play them because they can shapeshift. Yeah. Yeah, they could. They could take the form of really anybody. I mean, Mephisto has a main form, but yeah, you're right. Like tomorrow. Walking too much better. Show you don't really have to. Yeah, I saw that we're finally getting to the confrontation with Al. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I'm curious to see how they animate that because I want to see Konohamaru really go ham as an adult. Our own TV show, DC should restart with all the new castings and restart the timeline. I think that's what their intention is with Flashpoint. I think this Flash movie, where they just announced the casting for Supergirl, their new Supergirl, that they're going to use Flashpoint to reset the universe, which is something I actually have like a 45-minute video from like 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, where I was just like, the only thing the DCEU can do to fix this timeline is have Flash do a Flashpoint storyline. And that's what they're doing. The Flash movie is Flashpoint, so they'll be able to do whatever they want to restart the universe. What happened to the hearts? Will they return in the finale? Don't know. Not sure. We haven't seen them since episode 2. You saw the book. You saw the orange music. God, people, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. I'm getting so annoyed with the back and forth in here. Be respectful of people's opinions, guys. Seriously. Or you're just not going to get to talk at all. How are you doing tonight? Do you think the Netflix shows Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Fist are canon to the MCU? They are not. Not right now. We talked about this a little bit ago, actually. None of those shows are canon currently. How good would a series about Captain America returning the Infinity Stones be? I think it'd be interesting, but I don't know how you could make a show about it. It would be a very couple episode show for me. Yeah, like, I don't know how you would do a full series about those, because I feel like that'd be something that could be done pretty quick. I think we won't see Mephisto or Nightmare in the show, but I think we'll see Nightmare and Doctor Strange 2, and maybe we'll get an after credits that sets up Mephisto. I think that's a fair opinion to have. I think because I know there's a huge rumor that Nightmare is the villain of Doctor Strange 2. And that's why a lot of people think that it's Nightmare in WandaVision, because Doctor Strange is tied to WandaVision. There's so many points, and there's just so many nods to Mephisto in the show and in Loki and stuff like that. The Mephisto is involved somehow. If he's not, none of these make sense. None of the references make sense. Because there's been nothing in the show so far that alludes to Nightmare, in my opinion. But it doesn't mean he can't be the villain in Multiverse of Madness. It doesn't mean it has to be directly connected to this. And it doesn't mean Nightmare can't be the villain in that and working for Mephisto also. The Yo Gabba Gabba reference was funny, right? Okay, third time I was kicked out. Yeah, the stream's been really screwy. I think YouTube's been really struggling today with the live stream. It's been kicking people out left and right most of the time. He's like the ultimate fourth wall breaker. Mrs. Pitalik. If we could have somebody like Mrs. Pitalik in the Marvel Universe, that would be interesting. I mean, that's almost... I mean, he's not an imp and he's not magical, but Deadpool is our fourth wall breaker, and he's coming. He's coming. It'd be great to have 2 gems in WandaVision. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. That'd be funny. Well, they just got done with a week episode of 87. We'll have Kwaki's arrival to Konoha. Damn, man. I'm excited to see how they animate that, because that's one thing I've really liked about what the show's been doing so far is the animation for a lot of the fight scenes has been top notch, especially how they reanimated the Sasuke and Naruto versus Momoshiki fight, which I actually turned into an alert, which, you know what, I'll just throw it up. Where is it? Sorry, I just have to, because I think the animation's just beautiful. Where the hell is it? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Had a not retard for a moment. Whoever, get off me. Whoever added me. Yeah. Stop fucking fighting each other. Goddamn. Marvel must have paid the big bucks to get Yo Gabba Gabba. So we're on chapter 17. Have fun, peeps. Good night, everybody. Thank you for stopping in, Dean. Hope you have a good night. I don't think it took Cap that long to do that, guys. I don't think so either. I don't think that whole thing took that long for him to return the stones. I think it would make for a nice skit or a nice special, but not like an ongoing series. Guy who played Norm is under the control of the Hex. Of course, he'll be nice. Yeah. True. James Spader is still cast as the voice of Ultron in WandaVision. I mean, maybe we'll get a flashback. Because we also still haven't seen the scene of Wanda playing with the Mind Stone either that's been in a lot of the trailers. We haven't seen that yet. Really hope we get some Dreams Valesque scene with Evan Peters in just one of these. I hope so too, because those were one of the things you just kind of look forward to in any of the movies that he was in. The mutants will be introduced, with Agnes calling them mutants as an insult, and Wanda saying she loves her mutants and saying no more mutants is just a weird thought. I think, yeah, we're definitely going to get mutants somehow as a result of this. But that would be an interesting way to do it. You think we'll see there's a chance Man-Thing could appear, considering the vines in Agatha's basement and it being a Nexus Bean, like Wanda in the comics and the Nexus ad. Maybe. I don't know. Because they seem to be absorbing energy, and it doesn't seem like a Man-Thing kind of do. But it could be. It could be a hint or a nod to it at the very least. So we'll probably wrap up here soon. I need to eat. It is. We've been going for almost 3 hours. There's a Hulu original show in the first and second season. I like the original actor of Doom and is in the Runaways. I haven't watched the Runaways, so I'm not sure who played Doom there. Mind Stone scene has been my most anticipated. Me too. Can't wait to see where they're going with that. See ya. Thanks for the stream. Had fun. Take care, Lala. Thank you so much. Very long shot. Crazy theory. Could it be Mojo and not the other two? That would be a very... I think it at this point turning out to be Mojo would be the equivalent of it. At the end of this, Wanda wakes up and everything we've been watching is a dream. It's Mojo. I'd be super disappointed if the Agatha stuff, the Mephisto stuff, and all that is, and the Evan Peters stuff is all just Mojo manipulation. I personally would be super disappointed with that. I think Eric Voss is Mephisto. Hell yeah. Good night, Sugar Ray. Thank you again for hanging out. Again, guys, if you're checking out, hit me up on my socials and join the Discord. There's a Discord in the link description. You played Doom of the OG. Oh, okay. That's what you meant. It was the actor who played him in the Fantastic Four movie. Okay. Yeah, I can see that then. Oh, that no way could make work. You think Doctor Strange is trying to reach Wanda, and the opening said something like, "I know what you're doing, Wanda." Yeah, I missed that. I missed that in the reaction. I was like, "I know what you're doing, Wanda." Somebody that showed up and snuck its way in there. Doctor Doom, 28. What if Mephisto is... What if Mephisto was the friends we made along the way? The journey is Mephisto. That's so fucking funny. Good. I love that, Dill. I want Marvel Office. That would be funny. Kind of like those little shorts they would do with Thor's like roommate. Those things were so funny, man. If you haven't seen those, go watch those. I forget what they were called though. When it ends the show with no more magic. Yeah. I think somebody actually mentioned that up above. Something similar, that's what the lack of magic is what causes reality to start to crumble apart. This conversation is Mephisto. It's all Mephisto, guys. It's all of it. It's all Mephisto. Nightmare's Mephisto. Mephisto's Mephisto. Kevin Feige's Mephisto. It's just crazy, man. I do have to really like love and shout out everybody again that contributed to the super chat, because you guys have been so generous today. I can't even fathom, man. You know, Renee, Cody, Dill, Typo, Busy, Sheena, Custom Kicks, Dill, B-Tech Bradford, Sugar Ray, Scott Edwards. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anybody, because you guys have been great today. I love you all. Yeah, I think that's been everybody so far today. You guys are great. Love you all. If we didn't address anything, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to get some dinner and then might do a late night stream later tonight. I don't know what I'll play through. I'll either be going back to God of War, might just be shooting some people on some Call of Duty or Halo or something like that. We'll see. See what I'm in the mood for, but I might pop back in a little bit later. So kind of keep an eye out. Make sure you're subbed. Make sure you're following me on Twitter, on Instagram. If you got theories or anything like that, make sure you're in the Discord, or you can even shoot them to me in the DMs, guys. I'm open. I try to respond to anywhere, comments. So talk to you guys later. Thank you all so much. This has been a fun stream. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.